Hello, 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 hello. How's it going there, guys? How's it going there, Zachy? How's it going there, big man? Good to see the big man in here. Working on the big man challenge. So he's got a challenge going on here. So be building a submarine. We're gonna conform to the rules, as all good challenge members should. How's it going there, O'Keefe? What's happening? So show you guys, did a little bit of work on this, not a ton. One thing to note is that the developers put out a update yesterday, I think it was 1.9.18, and it actually fixed some of the air going out of doors, which helped with my submarine. So I put out a new Steam tutorial. It's going to be part of a new Steam tutorial series yesterday, so if you need any stuff on that. So this is what I've got so far. Did general shaping on the submarine for Big Man's Challenge. Let's see if I can bring up the rules. We'll go through the rules together, as with all challenges, you have people trying to bend the rules, and I do not bend the rules, so I'm going to follow the rules of thine challenge for Big Man here. So we'll go ahead and we will bring this up, making sure there's no personal information on this before I share the screen. All right, good. So, Midget Submarine Challenge. Rules: structure must be able to be spawned within the career starter base dock, must have a livable interior, crew sleeping areas, kitchen, bathroom, amenities, etc. Propulsion: sub can use any form of glitchless propulsion except purely electric. If using electric motors, these can draw power from a battery pack, but the battery pack must also be connected to a generator of some kind: coal, diesel, steam, nuclear, etc. Only exception to the above rule is solar, as this is a form of recharging. Performance: must be able to achieve 20 knots whilst submerged, must be able to operate at a depth of 100 meters. Must have adequate living systems on board, such as air ventilation systems for breathing, etc. This vehicle must conform to the spirit of the challenge. That is a rule I always like to see. Purpose. The purpose of your midget submarine is up to you. However, the individual purpose of each submarine must be obvious, and each submarine will be partially judged on their ability to complete said task. Examples would include oil rig inspection, submarine home, which is likely what I'm going after, kind of like a home ship submarine. So it's going to kind of do it all. It's going to have an underwater airlock, which will allow you to do repairs. It will also allow you to live and operate under there, traverse, do rescues. That's what I'm aiming for. Cargo sub, cave exploration submarine, torp sub, ICBM, spy sub, mine layer sub. The timer is here. Judging will be based on the completion of each sub's individual as well as performance and conformity to the rules, plus other general judging. Top 5 voted for will be reviewed. An overall winner picked by the big man and community favorite will be announced during the final video. So, looks like a good challenge. I'm looking forward to this. Especially, this goes well with the new pressurization update. Some really cool stuff. The big thing that I'm thrilled with is the airlocks are working now. They were not working 2 days ago. And so this is a really big change the devs did. They do deserve their pat on the back when they get something right. So this was a big one. This airlock did not work 2 days ago. I was starting to think I was going to have to rip it out, and now it can stay. So it takes a while to fill. That's going to be my warning to Big Man is, you know, most of this filling stuff is going to take a little bit of some time, but that's to be expected. So this is going to be the bridge up here. Then you're going to come in here. This is tight quarters. You go in here. This is the underwater airlock. So this is how you enter the sub. This is how you'll be able to go out underwater. This will be the interior volume. So we have a good volume under here. The main ballast is under the floor and behind these walls. This wall is all batteries. Have some ballast systems behind this bulkhead. And then the engine are in the stern. It's going to be diesel electric. So let's go ahead and we'll look in there. So we currently have a diesel running a generator, which will run electric motors, as stated in the rules. It cannot be direct drive electric. It has to have some sort of generation system. Yes, big man suck. It is expected to have the terrain. So this will be, I'm thinking this is going to, at final, be a hybridized system, potentially, where it will have electric motors plus diesel. So when it's above the waves, we'll be able to plug into the diesel system to add propulsion, and may or may not do that. We'll see. Big old dieseler in here, and then it's got a generator. It's going to have electric drive on that. Single large prop. One of the things that Big Man was talking was a requirement of this, if I'm not incorrect, was, for example, there are some submarines that use neutral buoyancy and then they use propellers to push themselves down and up in the water column. This one operates more like a nuclear sub where it will get to neutral or negative buoyancy, and then it will use pitch fins to go up and down. So that's going to be how this is operating, like so. So we'll take it out for a quick little run. I have to test something really quick. I have actually not done any sort of... I've done submersion. I've not done any sort of pitch check on this. So let's go do a quick pitch check on this. Currently it is sub 20 knots, but it's close. So probably 2 more electric motors will get us there. So let's just check the pitch on the elevator here. I don't know what you call it. Dive planes, I'd say, on a... let me turn infinite electricity on. Alright, so that is moving in the correct direction. It does need some ballasting here. We'll just quickly go for a quick little run around here. So as you can see, what these subs do is they use the fins to essentially realign the thrust to maintain, you know, ascent or descent. And so what we can do is we can fill our ballast tanks. I'm trying to go with a completely air-driven system. Well, not completely air-driven system, but there are a couple ways you can do ballast. One, you can pump water in and out as ballast. The other thing you can do is, I did a live stream on this. So what you have out here is all of this atmosphere, if I can press the right key. Oh, I've changed it to C. So all this air pressure that's out in the world is pushing down on the ocean. So the air is something. So air is mass. It's pushing onto the ocean. And so what's going to happen is that's going to try to push the ocean into the sub at 1 atmosphere. As you go down in the water column, though, the mass of the water is going to add to that. You're going to have more pressure pushing into the sub. So what we're doing here is if we can get if the air pressure inside of the ballast tanks is greater than 1, the water can't come in. If the air pressure is less than 1 in the ballast tanks, the water can come in. So what we're essentially doing is we're using the air pressure of the world outside as a pump to fill our tanks. When we empty our tanks, what we're doing is we're just pumping air into the ballast tanks, and now the pressure inside the ballast tanks exceeds the outside pressure, and bingo, we can go down. Now, one thing the devs changed was they limited the pressure of the ocean to 30. Why do we think they did that? Well, if we can do an air pressure of 60 and the ocean is limited to a pressure of 30, that should mean you should be able to descend as low as you want in the water column, and the air pressure can overcome the water pressure to make sure that your submarine can go to any depth and still pump out. So that would be why I would say the devs did that. So the way this ballast system, it's not set up correctly yet, but what it's going to essentially do is it will go either just above 1 atmosphere or it will go just below 1 atmosphere. If it's below 1 atmosphere, it lets water in. If it's above 1 atmosphere, it pushes water out. And if it's an equalization, it should keep the water pretty well equalized. Not going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Like this, we're still positive buoyancy. If I let go, we are still filling with water, as you can see. But even though we're not at 100% neutral or positive or negative buoyancy, rather, we can still perfectly operate in the water column as we want because we're moving the thrust of that propeller with our pitch fin. So we don't need perfect ballast to still operate. So as our tanks are filling, we don't have to wait for the tanks to fill. We want to rise while the tanks are filling, we can do it. If we want to descend while the tanks are filling, we can do it. Not a big deal. So this system is pretty versatile, so it lets you kind of operate how you want. So I'm still going to have to work on, we'll see how long the batteries are going to last. I have a full wall of batteries, so we should be pretty good on electricity. We'll have to see. This is going to be a diesel submarine. So, you know, eventually you're going to get low on electricity. You will have to go up and surface. But what's going to happen is it's going to run off a valve system. So the valve is going to open, and let's say you have a tank of air, and the tank of air is at 60 atmospheres. If you because the ballast tank needs to be less than 1 atmosphere to let water in, let's say that the air tanks are at 60 and the ballast is at 0.5. Well, what you're going to do is all you have to do is open one valve, and it lets all that 60 atmospheres rush into your ballast tanks, pushing the water out. So let's say at emergency where you completely run out of battery. What we'll do is have an emergency battery, or we might even have a manual valve. And if you turn it, it lets all the air back into the ballast tanks, pushing the water out. So in an emergency where we run out of power, it will still allow us to get the water out of our tanks, and we will bob to the top like a cork. So it's already submarining pretty well here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's check my ballast. All right, ballast is at 7,000 liters. Let's go ahead and we will stop us here. So it's gonna go in reverse. I need to fix it. Whoa, there we go. That's because I went in reverse. So I'm just gonna tap this. I don't have a 0 key. I will be changing this so that it has better thrust control, but I just haven't got there yet. So I'm gonna try to stop our propeller, and we're gonna activate the underwater airlock. I call it a wet lock, just to kind of, not the appropriate term, wet lock, but that's kind of what I like to call it. All right, I don't know why we're full of water. Oh, I know why we're full of water. I left this door open. So currently the ballast system's not completely working because the, you notice the water's coming in. So it works, but it's not set up correctly. Let's put it that way. Eventually what's going to happen is when I have it in an empty state, it's going to maintain greater than 1 atmosphere. When it is in a fill state, it's going to be less than 1 atmosphere. When we start out, we're just slightly less than 1 atmosphere. That's why this filled up and I had the door open, so it flooded that. But this actually helps us so I don't have to spend so much time filling this. So if we fill this, what it's going to do is it's just removing the air pressure. So you notice it's pumping the air out of this room, and that will allow the water to come in automatically. So the water pressure from outside the submarine is pushing the water into the sub because we're relieving this air bubble. That's the same reason a moon pool works, is you can only compress the air so much, so the air eventually comes up to the top of the room and it can't compress anymore, and it won't let any more water in. And so what we're doing is we're pumping the air out of this area here, and that allows us to have water come in. Let me just check this. Player damage is off, so that way I just don't have to have any sort of scuba gear. I don't think I can put a seat in here. I don't have the space. This is kind of a tight space. For example, this door opens up into this space. This door comes over into this space. So it's kind of tight for having that in. But go ahead and we'll look at, we'll let this fill up really quickly, and then we'll go out. So this could be for a bunch of different types of missions. You have those rescue missions. You can utilize this for that. You can utilize it just for anything you want where you're going underwater. But main purpose, this is going to be a home ship where you want to go do some missions. You can. Part of those missions being underwater repair missions and rescues. So you'll be able to use this underwater airlock to that purpose. So if we look at our meters here, we have a liquid meter. Sorry about that flickety. Can't do much about that. Right there, as you can see, 2156 is a full tank. You see our gas. We're pumping our gas out, so we're descending from 700 liters of gas. And we're not going to wait till this completely pumps out. It eventually will pump all the way out, but if you notice, we can open the door, we can swim out, we could go do repairs, rescues, whatever we have to do underwater. We come back in, we'll close our hatch, and then what we'll do is, so there's a valve. All that air that was pumped out of this room goes into a tank, and then we press this, and as you notice, we start getting air pressure pushing back in, and the air pressure is pushing the water out. So eventually it will fill up. It's a little bit screwed up because that room was open, but so as you notice, the water is going down. The air should be coming up. Gas level is going up. Air is going down. And it's a slow process. I expect it to be slow, but eventually this room will empty of water, and the air will go into storage tanks. We don't throw that air away. That air goes into storage tanks. And so eventually this will be set up where it has locks. So if this room has water in it, this door will be locked, and this door will be locked. You'll not be able to go through there. And then when the pressure is equalized, this one will be unlocked, and you can go outside. Then once this room is empty of water, this one will be locked, this one will be unlocked, this one will be unlocked, and that way you can go into the rest of the ship. How's it going there, Connor? How are you? How's it going, Variante? How are you? How's it going there, Daniel? What's happening? Barney, how are you? How are you? Good to see everybody. So that's kind of the purpose of the sub. We're not going to go through a full cycle here. It takes a little bit of time. But we have pretty good flow rates now, but it's not going to be a super fast process. Doesn't necessarily need to be. So big thing with submarines is you have a lot of air in here. You have a lot of ballast, air ballast. And to overcome that, you need a lot of mass. This is what we're talking with for mass right now. Battle cannons for days. Each of these segments is 40. All the way through here. This one needs to be fixed. Okay, that needs to be fixed. Fix. These need fixing. I keep moving parts around, so I need to fix a bunch of this stuff. That is, that's a pump in. Okay, that's good. This one is not good right there. That's good. Okay. So we'll go line this up here. I need to fix some of this stuff. I moved some stuff around. I wasn't really checking. So let's see. What's that? Is that a liquid? That's got to be a liquid. So this is part of our ballast system here. So we have a liquid relief valve there. So this is going to have a pump in just to help pump the water in a little bit faster. And then this is passive. So this is all air pressure workings there. And then if we look up the sides here, we have a little bit more ballast. If we go up in here, this is all these little hips that we have. So these two hips are full of water as well. Center of gravity is nice and low. So we want to keep that center of gravity as low as possible. That's how I can have this big superstructure and it doesn't roll over. Is CG is nice and low. So try to keep getting that CG lower and lower as we can. But working pretty well so far. Go ahead and I think I want to do a little bit of interior work. So one of the things I often do when I'm building ships, and this is no different, is I pack in the weight. And then what's going to happen is as I start to put in things like cabinets and living space, some of that weight can come out. So I'm kind of thinking I'd like to build a little bit of living space here. So let's see. Let's fix this ladder. This ladder's screwed up at the moment with that. So it'd be kind of nice to do that. And then we'll get on some of the technical elements. The airlocks are going to be pretty much the airlock, the water lock, whatever we want to call it. It's going to be pretty much simple button, fill, empty. And all the doors are going to automatically lock, unlock as necessary so that we can't flood the ship. It's all going to be, it's going to auto-regulate its pressure. It's going to do all this stuff, so we have to get into that at some point. But I kind of want to have a little bit of a palette cleanser and go through here and maybe we'll do a little paint. Paint would be kind of fun, I think. Let's start with that. I think it would be kind of fun. I've been wanting to build a home ship, home submarine for a little while. One of the nice things, too, is I think the pressure update really made it, I think, a lot better and more fun to be able to do it. So, all right, let's start working on this here. So, a little bit of paint. Paint's when it kind of, the build doesn't look like an unfinished wreck anymore. It starts to look like it's becoming something. So, I like to take a little paint break at some point and get it to look a little bit like it's getting worked on. Start painting this up. I'm kind of doing more nuke sub type of paint job, a little bit of military type paint job. We'll see if I like it. I don't, much as it's a civvy ship, I don't want it looking like a civvy ship, so kind of make it menacing looking, I think will be kind of nice. It doesn't weigh that much. It weighs 5,800, so I think we should be able to put this on top of Triton potentially. That'd be kind of cool to be able to do. I'm doing no plane fill because I don't want to have to fix it. But yeah, so I'm liking the size, the shape. Its roll is going to be kind of cool. I like thinking of it as like kind of a home ship. We want to do rescues with it. We can do a bunch of stuff. So all that mass that I put in the bottom, it's important to put that in first because as I add cabinetry, as I add components, I'm adding more mass. And so some of that's likely going to have to be deleted out. And so by having that already in there, we can kind of get the other stuff. But we have a lot of buoyancy in this vessel, so that's kind of nice to have the to be able to delete out those low blocks. Go around here like so with the dark line. Okay. And then let's go this color on top. There we go. But I'm really glad the devs came out just in the perfect time with that fix for air escaping doors, because that was going to be a moment of oh crap if I couldn't make my door work the way I wanted, my airlock work the way I wanted. So by them fixing that, that made it possible. So pretty good timing on that. I was starting to think I was going to have to redo and not have that feature, and then that got fixed, and now I can have the feature I want, so that's really cool. Okay. See how I like the bright propeller? Trying to get this one little white block behind it. There we go. Alright, and then I'm thinking I want this color underneath here. Now, a little bit of color light brightens it right up and gives it a little bit of pop. It'd be cool working on the ballast system. I think pressurization really made this a lot more fun to do some of this stuff. And it's a little bit less of a pain to try to get like exact neutral buoyancy, because with the system using the elevators to the dive planes to get us going, it's a lot easier to keep us. We'll still sink or raise in the water column, but it will be a little bit less of an issue. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, the one bucket I will use, because that's at the lowest part, so it's not going to color stuff I don't want to. And then, let's see. Like that, a little bit lighter on the top here. So I might put a snorkel on this, we will see. It's probably just going to surface for its needs. But eventually, you know, batteries will need recharge. I'm digging that color scheme. Let's go take that out in the world, see what it looks like. A little bit more menacing and less friendly than a pure white background. Go put this in the sun, see what it looks like. Need to shut that door or else we will flood until I get that system fixed. We'll do a quick max speed test. We're not up to 20, which was the requirement yet, but it won't take much more to get to 20. So I'm digging that color scheme. I like it. A little bit of personality with that. All right, so currently we're doing 10 meters per second, so we're close. Yeah, we can bank on 8 meters per second, so we're close. We're around 16 knots. We need 20 knots, so a little bit more power, and we should be able to achieve that. We'll see how fast the batteries go down, but not going to be the end of the world. Let's see if we have any more chat here. Oh, thank you there, Barney. Glad you like it. How's it going there, FS? How are you? How are you? All right, good. So I think that I'm digging that color scheme. That's going well. Let's see. Do we gold up the hatch? I think we do. Let's do that. not that. There we go. Might do that, a little contrast on there. Alright, and then I need to get rid of symmetry here for the interiors of these windows. Bingo, bango, bongo. Nice. Alright, it's good. So that will be able to work on that. We'll do a little interior work here. I think how I want to demarcate the space. So I'm thinking living quarter, like bedroom, kitchenette, hangout area, and then maybe some more like service stuff in the back. So let's see. So first thing we'll do is grab a bed, make sure we're on no symmetries. Problem is we go up there, we're gonna run into collision right off the bat. I think, let's see. We go there, I can then put cabinetry in here and not have it, cabinetry's not gonna like it there anyway, so let's go, I wanna be able to put cabinetry in with my dude here, so let's go like that. I'll put cabinets above them. This is going to be the end of the room right here. Oh, excuse me, pardon me, not there. Let's do a little symmetry on that. Bingo, bango there. All right, good. So as I'm adding in walls and things, this is going to add mass. It's going to cut my buoyancy, so eventually a lot of this mass is going to have to go. Likely it will be the stuff that's in the ballast tanks. But we have to watch, make sure that CG stays nice and low, so that's something to keep an eye on. Door, there we go. And that can go in there fine. Okay, good. Let's go. Make sure we're not piercing the hull. We're not. Nice. That works with the bed. Lovely. All right, let's grab a brown. Okay, brown goes there. Brown this sucker up there. All right. Symmetry I meant to be off there. So we'll do like overhead cabinetry, and then we'll do a desk here, I think. Okay, good, that's that. Let's see how I want to do this. This is going to be an interesting area. I got to work with that because of the height of the bed. Bed could go down one. That will fix that. Let's do that. Okay. I want to put cabinets in there, and so kind of built-ins. So kind of look like this. Okay. Can't go any lower because we drew it on the bed, but I can put in paint blocks all through here, so we'll do that. Do a little design and work in there. Probably should just make this default color for now. And then we'll do paint blocks on top of that. We're talking here. There's a 6-banger there. 6-banger there. Okay. Let's go browns on here for the cabinetry. Kind of, you know, it's kind of a cool concept to me. Almost have like a little motorhome submarine. It's kind of why choosing that is. It just seems like a cool concept of the ability to go out, do a mission, whatever rescue mission you want to do, and take a nap, and then oh, Shiza, don't do that there, son. And then come back and sleep on the submarine. Wait for another mission. Sounds like fun. Okay, let's go. We'll go darker on this by, oh, I don't know. Is 40 too much? Let's see. 34. 40 on that is 58. That's gonna be not enough. Okay. No, that's actually not bad. I don't mind. Okay. Let's go ahead and make some cabinets on here. Might maybe put a little drawer or something in there. A little bit of interest. Yeah, we'll see if I like the gold handle, the bronze kind of handling. See if I can get a better bronze color. I think that's a little bit over the top. So if I can get a bronze color. See what if I get an RGB value on bronze. RGB bronze. Let's see. 205. 127.50. I'm not a huge fan of that. Darken that way up. Let's go 50 off. 77. And then 155. That's better. I think we'll see how it looks in game too. That's important to know what it looks like in game. And then let's grab that. Let's go. Oh, don't do that, please. Grab that. See how that bronze looking very orange. See if I can find a better bronze color that I like. Yeah, I want more of a brown bronze instead of like a metallic bronze. Let's see. See if I can find let's try this dark bronze, see what I like of that. It's at 128. This is very orange bronze. I don't want orange. 74 0. 0 is nice. 74. Yeah, I'm digging that a little bit better. It's less orange. See how that looks in game. Let's go ahead and grab. Important to put it in game so you know what it's actually going to look like when you get it in there. Lighting's different. Game is could use a contrast slider. How's it going there, Rasmus? What's happening? How are you? Good to see you. Yep. This is so we'll stand over here when this door opens. I could do sliders, but I don't really want to. I kind of like these hatches. They're a little bit more correct. Make sure that's not clipping. I hate clipping. That's barely doing it. We like that. A little bit dark. We're going to have lights on in here, so we'll see. Yeah, a little bit on the dark end, but we'll see what it looks like when it's lit up. I can always do color swap on those. So let's continue working here. So I want a desk. So let's go. And we'll do a trying to see where we want to sit. I want to do a closet. So closet should probably go here. Nice thing with a closet is it takes up a lot of space, and we don't have to worry about that space anymore. I will put storage in the closet though, so it will have purpose. So floor to ceiling closet here. I could put the head in here, but I think I'm going to put the head in the rest of the space. That spaces that room up pretty nicely there. And then I want to do over desk cabinetry here. So it'll be something like that, recessed. And then the desk goes there. Not really digging the 1x2s. So let's go ones and then one wedges here. Could do like a glass desk, but we'll see. Problem is the padded seat doesn't like sitting up against that, so. Yeah, messy like that. And then so, let me look at the rules really quick. I can't remember if XML cosmetics were allowed. Let me check. I don't see anything about XML, so we'll go without it until I get a ruling off Big Man. But I don't see any XML cosmetics. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, I'll check with Big Man for XML, because if I could XML this desk, it allows me to sit at this seat, but it's not the end of the world. One little trick I could do with this is if I just go like this. So actually, what we'll do is this. This is not really super functional anyways. Just turn the padded seat around. You know, you'll have your back to the desk, but there'll be no clipping, so that's the benefit of that. And then we'll put some paint on this. That'll help look this up. So. And we won't, holy mother. We won't know what this is going to look like until we get some lighting in here that actually kind of tells us what we're working with. The wood adds a little bit of warmth in here. I could always add a lighter wood color too if it starts feeling a little on the dark end here. Okay, and then that's way too beige. See how it looks in a second here. Nope. Pressing the wrong buttons for everything here. Let's see what we want for coloration here. Probably like reasonably dark gray flooring in here, I'd say. Don't like to do it, but we'll bucket. See that bucket stuff back here I don't really want done, but save me a little bit of time bucketing. Hatch colors, probably do dark hatches, I'd say. Ceiling's going to be a little on the lighter end. We might do, we'll see how dark this comes out, but kind of like a little bit of a darker color palette. But sometimes it looks just way too dark and does not fit the space. Yeah, this is again going to be like a home submarine, so it's not supposed to be menacing. It's not a military sub or anything. It's kind of supposed to be inviting. We'll kind of see what the space looks like when we get in there. Let's grab this bronze. Kind of digging that bronze. That's not bad. Let's go a little bit brighter here. And let's just take a look at the space. See how it looks. Until we get some lighting, it will be dark. A little bit dark, but we'll get that lighting in there. I'm liking the colors, the walls and the roof are kind of brightening. You know, do a little bit brighter brown maybe, but I do need light in here to actually tell. Like the bed height, we can get in and out of the bed pretty good. You sit backwards on the seat, but it looks good as a desk. Nice little bump out with a cabinetry. I might change that to more like a metal locker, a little bit of different coloration, but that's going to be our living quarters. If the door is opening this way, I want to have the start of the kitchen stuff over here. So I need a kitchen, need a head. Probably put the head in the stern. So head's the bathroom. Put the head in the stern. That way I can do a stern head all the way across. We'll do a living area in here. So kind of try to see. Yeah, you wouldn't want the door opening into your kitchen too much, but we can do a couple things here, and then main space. We have to be careful of the ladder. The ladder takes out a lot of space for us, so I have to be careful of that too. So. All right, let me just look really quickly to see if this will let us go door into the bedroom. Door can't go into the bedroom, so we can't do that. All right, let's try locker colors for this instead here. Probably go a little bit brighter. Yeah. Let's try my stainless steel color. And we'll do a stainless steel locker in here instead of a wood cabinet. I'll break the space up a little bit. Okay. Let's just really quickly take a light. And we'll see what that looks like lit. We'll see how the oh geez, see how the colors look in the light. Because it'll have red light and white light. So. All right, so this looks a little bit dark on the seams. Bronze, I'm digging the bronze. Bronze is pretty good, but a little bit dark on the seams. If I can brighten those seams up, maybe brighten the brown up just a little bit, I think we'll be better off there for coloration. All right. So door opens this way. We can stand here. So let's go ahead and we'll start banging some stuff in here for cabinets, for kind of our kitchenette. And then we need door swing area over here. So that's 3 blocks. And so we'll go cabinets on this side as well. Kind of finish off the kitchenette vibe. Could do, yeah, we want the table behind there. Let's go kitchenette behind us, table over here. We need 3, so that can go 1 more over. Gonna be difficult, don't you? Okay, that's fine. Just like that end of the world. 3 there. Yeah, that can't cut it anymore. Try something, see if I hate it or like it. It's gonna be a pain with the ballast tanks there to run that off. I like them more rounded anyway, so stick with that, and then I'll deal with it as necessary. Might put that seat on a pivot or something. We'll figure out this side here. Might shorten that table up altogether. Let's do that. I don't need this big of a table. Put a cabinet behind. A little bit minimalist. Don't want like backs on the seats. Want the seats kind of not looking too cozy. Right, good. Oh, you suck. I hate it when it does that. Go. All right. And then we'll do a cabinet, kind of like a little bit of a cabinet behind the here. So let's go. Maybe like a we could put a fridge here or something. Something like that would be kind of cool. Pantry, fridge, something like that. There. Okay. There's cabinetry there. Put a sink here. We'll see how I like the sink. It's a little bit bigger than I probably like, but then we have a little bit of a seat. We could put a TV here, and then you could sit in these seats. Maybe I fit a couch in here because we need the ladder. We need 3 blocks off the ladder to keep that running. Let's go stainless. Fit it in here without XML in. I'll figure out a faucet in a second. Let's paint a little bit. That will end up being paint blocks, but I'm just trying to flesh the room out. A little bit of color helps figure it out. Okay, this is gonna be probably a fridge or pantry. I'm thinking fridge. Probably put my microwave in there somewhere. Put a stove top here, a little cooktop. Paint. don't think I'll put a button somewhere else, I think, and I think we'll just do coils. Do that or do griddle top? Let's see. Do coils and a griddle top, I think. Yeah, that looks, see if it's too bright or not. Gap's not gonna work. I was gonna do griddle top. I don't know if I want to do griddle top or not. Leaning towards no griddle top. Alright, so that'll be start of the stove at least. Let's see what some chat's saying here. Thank you there, Dana K. Yeah, appreciate that. A little bit of the old blub 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 there, Owl. How are you? This is how big it is on the outside. It's pretty spacious on the inside. It's got ballast is underfloor where it should be. A little paint here. Stop clicking blocks there, guy. There it is. Okay, a little bit of liveliness in there. Let's go color scheme this throughout. Not digging on this here. This under here is a little weird, but I'm just gonna go with it. A little bit of gap there, but it's not the end of the world. Shiza, I colored that wrong. going into some of this, so I won't paint too much. Just trying to paint the room we're in. Let's do that. Because I need to work on that head. Oh, you give me brown color, please. Bronze color, rather. Put a light in here, see how this feels in here. Trying to mass up a little bit as we add stuff, which we can always take some out. Ah, good. I'm liking the feel of this. Color scheme looks good in here. It's nice, bright, and open. Sit at my little table. Be able to work my stovey. Nice cabinets at face level. Door opens up without being a problem up against the fridge, which will be accessible. Go in here. Sleep time, sleep times. I need to put a head over here. Trying to decide if we want engine room access. Not really. I have to finish this if I do that. Let's go to dry dock for that. Right, let's figure out the head. So I'd say I could probably get away with 3. 4 is probably more reasonable. So let's work on that. Working. What are we doing here? Are we coloring? Or what's the story here? Okay. Let's put a head in here. Let's turn symmetry on. Put a head in here instead. Okay, there's the head. Oh my god, give me that color. Click on it 9 times, gets old. It's not centered. No, it's off center. Oh, okay, I was like, it should be centered. That's better. All right. the shower. That's 3 by, right? Yeah, 3 by. Yeah. 3 by is what? 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 by 4. 3 by 4. That's 3 by 3, yeah. Sandwich these the way I have it. Oh, symmetry. Get out of here, devil. I wish I didn't have symmetry on over here. I'll put the head over here. Always looks too fat when you do it like this. Let's try it with the 1x2s. I don't know if I like the 1x. It just looks super fat if I do it like this. It's a little bit better than that. The other one now. A little bit different coloring in the bathroom. Give it some pizzazz. bit of Zaz. I don't know if I want Zaz in the bathroom. Kind of like to do a little bit different just because it's livens the space a little bit. What are we on up? Yeah. Let's take a walkie woo through here and see how we feel. Trying to get heavy in there, so we're gonna move some weight at some point. Nice thing, the mix to the ballast tank doesn't have to do as much work, so this is gonna fill with water because that's leaking at the moment. Feels good in here. We'll step in the shower. Head. Nice. All right. Okay. Probably use a couch somewhere, but we're running low on space. Got a little low on space here, but pretty good. We could put a couple cabinets here and there. Pretty good. Good living quarters. All right, let's see how she's floating at the moment. Holy mother. All right, ass down. So it's assing at the moment. Let's see. So packed it with plenty of weight so that it can all be removed as necessary. So she sits now. So pre-packing it with weight's a good idea. That way when you get to start putting in decorations, you can just delete some weight. People who forget to do that often run into the problem that now their ship is not balanced properly, and it's a frickin' nightmare, man. So a little bit on the bow again. Still on the bow. Gotta worry about the center of gravity coming up too high though, so we need that sitting nice and low to counteract the superstructure. So what I will do is bump out some weight block there. I still have yet to put fuel in, so fuel is going to be in the ballast tanks, I think. Probably just custom out fuel in the ballast tanks. Alright, that's starting to sit pretty well. Digging it. A little bit, could even use just a hair of bow ballast. But pretty damn good. Sitting pretty level at the moment. I want just this top part sticking out of the water when it's not ballasted it up. So, can jump up here, fine. Pretty good. Let's read some chat. Read some chat. How's it going there, Trippa? What's happening? How many blocks does this thing use? Try space. Sonar guide, unlikely. I've never worked with sonar, so I really don't know anything about sonar. But if I do find out, I will do a guide. But doesn't really, I don't do too much with sonar, so if I do figure it out sometime or care to try it, I will guide it up. How's it going there, Citrus? Yeah, I like the, I'm not interested in the weaponized sub. I think it's more fun like this, kind of a Steve Zissou type of thing. Fluid port for what there, Rasmus? Oh, for the bottom of the shower? Yeah, that was one thought, but it would stick over. That's the only reason I didn't do that. I think I'm block restricted too. When I get back to my bathroom, I can't cut into the floor. The floor starts being these parts here, so can't really cut into the floor in the bathroom. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, it's not a big deal, Citrus. You don't have to worry about that. Airlock, yeah, just open the airlock, let the brine out, yeah. Helm is up here, so it's on the upper deck. So it's right here. That's the control is in there. And this is the airlock, and then that's living down there. How does the airlock work? So the airlock is a pure pressure airlock. So you have two ports here. Those ports are direct connected to the ocean right here. So direct connected to the ocean. So they only let liquid in. This big port here is for air. The air comes in is, I can find it. Where's it? Right here. Comes in through this air, this gas exchange. It then goes into two large pumps. Is that the right one? No, this is, where are we at here? Let me see what I'm working with here. Where's gas exchange? Gas exchange is up here. Okay, so gas exchange is up here. So this is liquid pump. This is pumped liquid. Did I intend that? I gotta play with the system. But anyways, I pump water in, and I also have passive water in. I might get rid of the passive. We'll see. And then we have two ports up here for air, and one will pump in, one lets out. So this one pumps the air into the system, which comes in here, and it goes up and it stores in this tank here. Use the storage tank, so if I need a pre-prime, I can. And then it is valve released. So it pressurizes the system, and then you open this valve, and the valve lets the air back into the room. And that will push the water out, out of these ports. So those are my outbound ports there to pump out. I might change up the way the system works, but currently that's how it works. Ballast is the same type of system. We have passive water in. I also have a pump, so we have a water pump here. But we also have passive water in here. And so what you do is you go in the bow, and the bow has pumps and storage tanks, and it stores the air for the system in here. And so it will pressurize these. If the air pressure is over 1 inside the ballast tanks, pushes the water out. If it's less than 1, it lets the water in. Same thing with the airlock. So that's gonna run on pressurized system. Currently it is a diesel, And it's running it's diesel electric. It's going to be hybrid for above water running, and then it's going to go into diesel electric for, it's going to go into electric for underwater. Diesel electric as much as it can. So it might do some air storage. It might run this room out of air, and then once this room runs out of air, it stops. But that's currently how it's set up. Gotta play with that a little bit. Alright, so let's work. I think I want to get into the, trying to decide how, if I want to change up my water lock here. Currently I'm pumping in. I wonder if I should do a pump in, pump out system. That's a thought. I have to kind of decide that. Is that the passive? I don't know if I want to run passive. Let's play with this. It might be a little harder to control if I'm running passive. I kind of want it to be a little bit cool, so we'll see. See how I have to do it to get it to run the way I want. I don't know how big the flow rate is on that. This is pushing, that's my dual water pumps in. I really don't need to pump in that hard because I'm running passive. So let's delete a bunch of the system. I want to redo this system. I figured out how much space I need. I can always go back and dick with it. Let's do this really quick. Let's recall a bunch of that. I know this works. Let's recall that. And save. I haven't saved in a while. Alright, and now let's tear it apart. And, you know, this was mostly proof of concepting in there. Now that proof of concept is kind of good, and I know it's going to work, we can move on from there. So, build the ballast system out fresh. Okay. What are you? Okay, you're the top element there, so this can actually go like... That has to stay. This can go. Okay, that can't go. This can go. Alright. Trying to minimize the weight as high as I can, so I'm trying to get rid of as much high mass as possible, just to lighten us up, to keep that center of gravity low, so we'll be playing with that as I go to try to keep the CG as low as I can get it. Alright, so that's kind of our space. This is our wall here. Alright. So I could do lines in there, but we'll keep it like this for now. We have some pathing in here, but the problem is I can't... I would love to have a fluid port that has a 90-degree elbow built into it. That would be sweetie. It'd be really sweet to have that. These are just for reading, so let's go through. We'll rebuild this system here. Alright, so let's see. We want to pump water in. So let's start with a large pump. Let's go asymmetrical. And we'll do a pump out, like so. Right. Now we'll let us single port this sucker. Single port this sucker. Let's actually go all the way down the floor with these. So let's go. Yeah, let's go like that. And like that. Make sure I can cut into there. It should be there. Beautiful. Alright, that's good. Let's go semiometry. Could probably do large fluid ports if I push these pumps forward one, but then I lose that gas nozzle. Do a quick test here. So let's do a quick test here. I want to test out the pumping systems, try to see what we can get for flows. I don't need it super duper fast. I don't mind waiting, but as it is for a challenge, I don't want to make Big Man have to wait for 100 years to get water in and out of this bad Johnny. It's a little bit easier to speed it up. Okay. Put the death box in here for me to stand in. Oh, come on, I just put a hole in the floor. Big fluid port here. I want to just check porting speeds here. Okay. I want to use the most efficient electrical stuff that I can because of the, we need to have a lot of battery power, so I don't want to be wasting it. I forgot I can't drag these. All right, let's get weight blocks. Should be going down to Davy Jones' locker here. Oh, you son of a bitch. No symmetry, huh? Have to do a tutorial on pumping once I get all the pressurization kind of at a standstill. Go down into here. Run 11, lead 11.73. We're run 11.73, so no point. So that is kind of what I was hoping. So excellent, because I'm not going to put big porting in if I don't need big porting. Do not need. So this is like 2198. So it's going to change rate, but 2198 divided by 11. It's going to be 199 seconds divided by 60, so it's going to take 3.3 minutes to fill. Not bad. Happy with that. So that's pumps in and pumps out. Now we need air in and out. We'll see with the rates. I was up to like 21 on air, so we'll see if I get a slowdown on this, but And for decorative purposes, can I cut there? I can. Okay, decorative purposes here. Go. Facade these suckers out. Alright. So there, and then if we want to do multiples, I can. But for now, we're not. Let's see. Alright, so pumpage. We want to pump into a relief tank and then push it back out. So we're going to go with this large Johnny here. And then let's see. I'm trying to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this any more rapid. You know, by dropping the pressure, it's going to relieve the work on the pump. On the water pumps. So let's go. Gases. Yeah, you can tell the liquids have that black ring. The gas, I think, is like a light white or gray ring on it, so you can tell the difference. Off of sight. So the faster we can get the air out of here, we can hopefully get the system moving a little bit quicker. So we'll go together, Zang, pipe, this bad Johnny here, tank. Gas tank. I think it was at 0. We'll see. I might have to pump this up. Like might have to put a little bit more in there. We'll see. I might double tank this just because as you increase the pressure, it increases the resistance. So let's say you have an air tank and it's already at 10 psi. You're having to fight that 10 psi to get more air in it. If you have 2 tanks and they're at 5 psi, it's easier to fill the 2 tanks at 5 psi than it is to fill the 1 tank at 10. So sometimes adding tanks to it can help. So we'll see how I want to do that. Oh, shit, that's going to screw my valve too, isn't it? You got to be a pain in the ass somehow, don't you? Yeah, it wants to be a pain in the ass there. Let's see. Can I go low? I can go low. All right, let's try something here. Let's do it. Grab the tank. Stick it here instead. Trying to use my space wisely. I don't have a ton of it, so. Despite this not being a visible space, still kind of want it as clean and elegant as possible. Excuse me, please. Get there, please. Okay. You gonna screw me here? You kind of are. Right. I need 1 block there. I'm trying to put those gas filters on everything so that it does not let water in this system, because I really do not want water in this system here. Did I just miscount? And now I counted correctly. Okay, good. Make sure this is facing the correct direction when I get it on there. Out. Beautiful. Okay. Alright, so there's in and out. So the system will pump water in. It will come in this pump. It will push it into the room. At the same time, these 2 pumps will suck the air out. They will pressurize this tank with air. And then reducing the air pressure, allowing the water to come in. And then it also help vacuum the water in, so if we're at a low depth. And then what will happen is this tank will be pressurized with all of the air from this volume in here. And then when we want to empty the water, this pump will start pumping out. This will relieve the air pressure, push it back into the room to help push that water through the pump and out. So, pretty simple there. All right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and we want to delete. I'm just going to start with toggles. So proof of concept worked. It was already tested proof of concept. That was working fine. So these two there are going to be on the empty or fill. This is on the fill. So that fills the room. It's going to push these pumps on to suck the air out. That's also going to trigger the in pump for the. Am I checking? Let me look. I have these wrong. So this one is wrong. This is my in pump. There we go. That's my out pump. That's my out pump. So that's the in pump. So we will want to fill the system. We need to suck the air out, and we need to pump that in. When we want to relieve, when we want to push the water out, we need to open the valve, and we need to squirt the water out like that. Giggity. And let's look at that. All right, let's go ahead and give it a quick run around here. We'll go dry it. We'll go motor a little bit for funsies. Test it out. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Get up there. So let's open this up. This way I'm not having to deal with that. So we're taking in ballast water now. Let's go ahead and start motoring out. Underway. We'll check the speed. We're doing about 16 knots. We need to up that up. Big man wants 20. Read some chat as this is all going on. There we go. Looks like we're going under a little. The nice thing is, even if I have positive buoyancy, because I'm using my pitch fins and steering, we don't have to wait for it. We can go under. You can notice we're at an angle because the buoyancy is trying to keep us up, but we can steer down if we want. So we can still already go down if we want and wait for the ballast to fill. So we don't have to wait for it to fill all the way up to actually go down and have adventures. So we'll let that ballast tank fill up. That holds like 7,000, which should hold more now because the battle cannon pieces have been, some battle cannon pieces have been pulled out. All right, good. So let's, I'm gonna let this start to fill. We'll actually, I'm not gonna fill that room until we get down there, but let that go. I'll read some chat while that's filling. Be nice for the devs to add a few deco parts. Yeah, that would be nice. I would like to. They have them in the POIs, so I think it would be reasonably easy for them to add them as you know, just give us the parts in the POI. They don't even need to do new parts. I think that would be a very welcome thing. That's one thing where I think some of their PR falls down. It's like dude, it's an easy win if you threw us a window block every once in a while, man. They should have it so that like. They should come up with a new rule that says, listen, it doesn't have to be every week. I think their 2-week, their announcement update type of schedule works well. But like say, for example, I don't think they should hold parts back unless it's part of a bigger coherent update. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But like they could do something like give us one desired window piece, okay? Make the window piece and have that come out and say, hey, this is you know, this is announcement week. We have X, Y, and Z, and we're releasing this new window block. Give us one block. You know, hey, this is announcement week, and we're releasing this sink decorative piece. You know, hey, this is announcement week. We're releasing a manual crank, which will send you know, a number value, so it works just like the throttle, but it's a crank, so that you can have a crank if you want it decorative like that. You know, and do that, you know, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks. I'm happy with 4 weeks is fine. You know, I think it's a reasonably small ask because, like, how long does it take to work on one window block? Probably not that long, and it's just a little crowd pleaser to throw out, and, you know, you feel like you're always getting something, and you are. And it's adding new blocks. I think that would be something cool for them to do. So I would completely agree with that. I think it's easy PR. It's easy cool. It's easy, like, you know, it's an easy win for them. And I think they could often use an easy win. How to refill air tanks after submerging. Where are you putting your air? If you put your air back into the tank, so what I'm doing is I'm pumping the air out of the ballast tank. It goes into a storage tank. And then I'm taking the same air I took out before and stored, and I'm letting it back out into the ballast. So it's the same air. It's like the same air, man. We're going to go down. I'm actually curious if this will speed up. It looks like it is. So the devs put in a restriction, which I talked about this earlier in the episode here, was the devs put in a max atmosphere of 30 atmospheres underwater. So what, and if you remember, they capped out air pressure at 60. That is not by accident. If your water pressure is at 30 and your air pressure can go up to 60, guess what? You can always pump out your ballast tanks. Because as long as you can overcome the 30 atmospheres with 60 atmospheres of air, you should be able to pump your ballast tanks up. So that's would not surprise me if that's why they did that. All right, so we're at 4,700 liters. I think we had 7-something max in there. It's going to be more now that we have this. But even though we're not at, we're still, let me see if we're positively buoyant. Yeah, I see we're going back up. We're still a little bit positively buoyant, but we can still go down here. And really, all I have to do is, okay, I want to stay this close to the bottom and just gently trim up the elevators here, the dive planes. And look, we're maintaining this descent rate even though we're still positively buoyant. So you don't need, like, a lot of people are thinking you needed negative buoyancy to go down. You don't. You're using the thrust of the engine to steer down, you know. It's the same thing like, oh, an airship could never descend. Yeah, the airship's not venting hydrogen to come down. They would release some balloons sometimes, but you're steering with your thrust to come down. You know, you just need neutral buoyancy. All right, so now you notice, like, we're getting close. We're probably close to positive buoyancy. I think we're there. So notice, see this system's going back out. If I don't have this system set up this way, I'm going to change it. It's going to get a change where it's auto-controlled. But the water in this is pretty much in or out. What it will do is it will match one atmosphere. With that 1 atmosphere, it's going to, you know, allow whatever water's in there to stay. If it's not at 1 atmosphere, it's going to, essentially, if it's above 1 atmosphere, it will push the water out. If it's below 1 atmosphere, it'll let the water in. Or whatever the pressure is under the water. Let's put it more like that. I'm trying to quickly get us stopped. I don't have a stop in there yet, so I have to... It's electric motor, so I have to be precise. I'm trying to get us to sit on the bottom here. So we are, as you can see, negatively buoyant. We are sinking, and we're sticking to the bottom. Just trying to stop the prop here. I don't think it's actually pushing us anymore. I think it's just sitting still. But. That's backwards. I'm trying to just get this stopped. I'll eventually put the thrust control in there. I just haven't worked on the bridge at all, really. All right, we're pretty much stopped. All right, let's go in here. I should put a, I'll put a barometer outside so we know the pressure of outside, but let's go ahead and test it. So this is fill. Here comes the sun. Liquid's coming, pouring in really fast. We're 66 liters per second, very nice. We have, as you see, the gas level is going out. The gas level is going out at, it's going to be these two, at about 0.8 liters per second. The gas is coming out. This, I don't know why that's reading. Oh, that's just that's pushing air in there. So this actually fills and empties really quickly now. So let's go ahead and take a look. One of the things is we're way underwater, so it should push the water in really fast. The water pressure is helping us fill. So we're going to watch our gas level there. As the water pressure comes up, it's going to pressurize the air. That should help the air to get out. If you look, see it's at 60 atmospheres. So it's helping to push that that air out. Because the water has squished the air all the way up to the top. And so it's going to help that go out. Now, I don't know how full the tank is. The tank, I have to get a reading off that tank. Once the air reaches maximum pressure, it can't take any more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we'll shut the fill off. This was not possible yesterday. This was not possible before the update yesterday. I tested this, it was broken. Let's go ahead and look at the update really quick. if we look at patch notes right here, this one right here, rebalance, rework, wide-scale adjustments to fluid pressure and flow through doors. That made this possible. Before, what was happening was a little air pocket at, I think, 1 atmosphere was stuck at the door, and it was causing it so that when you open the door, it acted as though there was 1 atmosphere at the door, and it would make it so I couldn't get back in the airlock. It was preventing me from getting in there. Now, that little bit of air escapes, and now, so it's doing it again. Let's see if it eventually vents. See if we get there. This is what I was doing before. It was fixed. I tested earlier. It could just be that my system is full of air and I can't get the air out. So, are we moving? No. Yeah, we're gently moving. So, I did test this earlier. It was working. I need to fix something with the new system. Apparently, that's not letting me back in because the air is still pushing out. So, let's get that closed. I will no-clip in here and I'll check it. But I did test this yesterday and today, and it is working. It's just I need to... What the fuck? I'm lost now. I pressed the Alt key, and now I'm screwed. So I'm not going to be able to find this unless I'm... God damn it. I hate that. I wish I could shut that off. Let's find this. There it is. I pressed the Alt key, so... Shift or Control? It's got to be Control in the editor. I went too fast. Now I lost my vehicle, so I gotta find it. There it is. Bingo. Ah, painted black. I can see it. Probably white would be even easier. Alright, we're just gonna go in there. I want to check the air pressure because the old system was fine. What's likely happened is that bottle is full. If the bottle's full, I can't get all the air out of here, and the air is keeping pressure in here. So let's look at the gas meter. Nope, gas level 0. Okay, that's interesting. This was working earlier, so we'll see what's up. I might have to check barometers, but we'll see what's up. So yeah, it's pushing me out again. It was working fine before. I have to see what's up. So yeah, I can't really test that unless I put my ass in a seat because I need to read the fluid ports to see if they're pushing air out. I can't really sneak up on the fluid ports. So we'll see what's up. The other thing I can do is put a handle or a seat in there and sit in there, but it was working earlier, so something I did screwed it up. But that is the fluid locker. Let's shut the door. Let's go into no clip again. You suck so bad. I hate it. When you're in game, it's different than the editor. So it's shift in the editor and control in the world. I wish it was just the friggin' same. It's frustrating. That's different. I should just change the keybind. All right, so now we're in here. Let's go ahead and make sure we can empty. So that's fill. This is empty. Let's check. So here's the air being blown into the room. And as you can see, we get an air pocket. The air is pushing this water out. It's helping it. It should be this port here. I hope I plugged the friggin' thing in. If I didn't plug the pump in, we're going to be in deep shit here. I may not have plugged the pump in. Nope, it's right there. All right, we're good. We're all right. 16 liters per second we're pumping out. So it's going to take a little bit for this to get out here. We're as I see, it is coming out. It's just taking a while. See, it's coming in as fresh water, which is a little weird to me. I don't know why this is coming in as fresh water, but you see we're already like 600 liters down, so it's pumping pretty quick. The impatient people are going to be quite, oh my god, it takes forever. It's like, oh my god, 3 minutes. So like we're at 2198, something like that. 2198 divided by 16 is 137 seconds divided by 60. That's 2.28 minutes. Go read a book. If you can't wait 2.28 minutes, it's a reasonable amount of time. Let's read a little chat here while we're waiting. Yeah, RPS powered pivot, I would love to see. Anything like that would be really cool. So I'm going to make a video at some point that it's going to talk about... I really want them to like focus and finish because like if they see a video from me and like even if that's a good idea, they're in the final stages I think of getting this pressure update solidified, and I don't want to have to add any extra nonsense because they're not going to be able to look at it. But I really want to do a video on like PTOs and shaft drives because that would be super cool. So A torque-driven pivot would be awesome. And so what this would allow you to do is you would turn the torque-driven pivot to turn a drive shaft, which would go to a torque-driven pivot, which would pass that RPS value to your tires. And so you can actually have drive shafts. This would make PTO shafts work for tractors. This would have really cool, some really cool applications in game. I would love to see that. Hydraulics, I would love to see hydraulics, proper pneumatics. You know, that would be really cool. The way I think they should do hydraulics is instead of running a hose, like make it so that we can run a hose if we want, but I think we should be able to do invisible in-editor hoses, so like electric. So you could run your hydraulic lines via kind of like an electric node. Because like hydraulic lines in real life would go against the bulkhead. They would go, you know, inside of a bulkhead. You can't really see them. In a lot of the builds, you shouldn't be able to see them. Pipes are okay. They're a little bit cumbersome, you know, because you think every time you want a hydraulic piston to lift the arms of a tractor, you'd have to make it an extra block wide to put the pipes on. I'm not opposed to it, but it starts to add a lot of bulk. So airlock is closing. The other airlock worked with and let me out, so I have to see why this one isn't. Likely it's the tank is not big enough. If the tank is not big enough, it's going to make it so that I think the old system, it pumped both into a tank and into the room, into this room over here. So I think my tank's too small, so I can't get all the air pumped out of here. And if I can't get all the air out, it leaves air, the air gets stuck in here. So we'll have to see. But as you can see, this is pumping out nicely. We're at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know what our depth is, but we're a pretty good depth right now. You know, you guys saw how long it took me to swim straight down, so we're at a pretty reasonable depth, and as you can see, we can still modulate our, you know, we still pump out here because we're using the air pressure to help us. You know, and that's the other thing. People were complaining forever and ever and ever that you could not pump out your submarines. The devs made it so that the large pump pumps up to 60 atmospheres. They made the ocean have a maximum of 30 atmospheres. That was because people wanted to be able to pump in and out. Is it realistic? Probably not, because in a realistic system, you would say, okay, the water pressure is 300 atmospheres. I don't know the real number, but let's say 300 atmospheres. Okay, if you want 300 atmospheres out, your pump will do 60. Okay, so we need 60 atmospheres. And then we need the remainder. If it's 300, we need 240 atmospheres of air pressure to push it out. The problem is they need to make this game approachable so that somebody who's, you know, 10 years old who has no experience can still play and have fun. So they simplified the system. They did it because people have been asking for it for a long time, or some people have been asking for it for a long time. So likely, if we look at this gas value, what I need to do is when this is done, I need to note the gas value, and I need to note the liquid capacity. And then what I'll do is I need to make sure I have enough tank to accept that gas value. And so once we figure that out, I'll be able to fill all this volume. So just waiting. This is almost done. I want to get it perfectly empty so that way I know exactly what the system's going to look like that I need to build. Because that would be my thought, is that there's not enough room in my tank. And one way I can tell there's not enough room in my tank is, look, we filled this room up, right? We filled the room with air, and that means that, and we vented some out, so that means the tank was not big enough to hold all the air. So we're literally almost out of liquid here. We'll wait till it gets to 0 because I want to run these numbers. So let's say that our gas level can go up to 4438. We'll say 4440. So I need a tank that can hold 4440 liters. 44. Was it? Let me check. Let me see. 44. Yeah, 4440. I was right. 4440. All right. So it needs to be able to hold 4440 liters. Water is negligible at this point. So now that this is empty, notice the sub does not rise back to the surface. This is just extra liquid. We could take liquid from my ballast tanks. I used to do that. but we don't really need to do that anymore. And then as soon as I shut the pumps off, notice we get water intrusion. I'm going to change the system up too, but we'll let this ballast. We'll do a quick raise on this. But that works out, so we'll just let this run while I'm doing this. We'll go downstairs. Yay, downstairs. Hanging around, hanging around. A little bit of decorating left to do in here. I'll probably put like some sort of like old school TV here or something. A little bit of free space, maybe some like decorative items in here. But good living space in here. A little stove and a sink. And, you know, I might put some manual valving for some of the engine stuff. I still need to put in fuel tanks. There's space in the back, but I really want to put it in the center of gravity because as I burn fuel, if I put it in the tail, in the stern, as I burn the fuel, the stern becomes lighter. We don't want that. We want it to become lighter right in the midsection. So I'll put some tanks in there. But we'll see how fast this ballast tank's undoing. I need to completely redo my ballast system, so... Oh, come on, get up there, you scumbag. If I don't jump just right, it's not going to like it here. There we go. Piss on you. There we go. Easy way to do it. Alright, so currently, we are not actually... let's see. So, okay, notice, this is good to know. I have not released the air yet. So, because the water pressure is so much, notice we're hovering around this number. The water's not going to come out until I release the air pressure. And so this is all realistic. A lot of people have, let's try to be more correct. Some people have said this is very counterintuitive. Makes a lot of sense, man. It is not 100% the way it is in real life, but if it was, you'd need to be a real engineer to be able to do any of this stuff. It is intuitive. It makes sense. If the air pressure is greater in the tank than it is outside, water goes out. If it's less, water comes in. Makes sense. So, there's no pumps right now. I have no water being pumped out. My water is being pushed out by the air pressure. So there's no pumping going on whatsoever right now. It's air pressure only. What I'm probably going to do is put a pump anyways and do an air assist just to speed the system up. But, like, I don't mind waiting, but I'm not going to make Big Man wait. And so we could wait for this, or because we can actually steer our thrust... Let's go forward, and we'll steer up. We're going to probably have to take a second to steer up here. I got to tilt this. We might be stuck in the bottom a little bit because I don't have forward planes. And there we go. And so we can power ourselves to the surface. And as we power to the surface, the water pressure is going to decrease, and this number should increase. So you can barely see it. The needle is going faster. You can start to see it now. The needle's picking up rate. Look at the numbers go faster and faster. As we raise in the water column, we have less water pressure keeping the water inside of our tanks. And so to help us push that water out faster, we can do that. So the answer to that is if we got to a point where we couldn't get the water out, which we always should be able to, we know that the water pressure goes to a maximum of 30 atmospheres. We just need to overcome 30 atmospheres, and we can read that with a barometer. If the pressure is 30.05, the water will come out. If it's less than 30, if say the water pressure was 30, water can't come out. So see how fast the needle's moving now? As we go up in the water column, the pressure is going lower. We have less water above us than below us. More and more, it's going to increase the speed at which we push that water out with air pressure. No pumps going on right now. It's all air pressure pushing that water out. So you notice the needle is 100% moving faster now. But cool little sub, so it's working well so far. I'm not even going to put in any sort of roll control. I kind of like it naturally rolls as we turn, which is realistic. I'm going to just let it naturally roll. I don't need roll control, really. I don't want it either. So we'll just let it naturally bank like it would in real life. And so, like, right now, it is negatively buoyant. There's more water in there than the mass. It's starting to, right about now, get positively buoyant. So if you look right around 5,000 liters, it becomes positively buoyant. So like if we wanted to, we could shut the valves now. It's still gonna let it out because the air pressure in the tanks is greater than outside. We don't need the valve on anymore. The valve already did its job. Yeah, so I'm gonna do some. I'll do some more elaborate systems in here. Yes, Trip is a witness. Oh, nice. Key truck transmission. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, Honda Acti is my favorite one. Yep. That looks pretty good. You might run into issues. It depends on how big your motor is, Citrus. If you're running a 1-cylinder, you're probably going to have to go lower than that. If you're running a 2, you should be fine. Because I think mine's a 2. How did you find that info? Okay, Citrus. He's talking to Citrus. Okay. How's it going there, Zerf? And I don't know if I said hello to you. I answered plenty of questions, but say hello. All right, so that's working pretty well. Let's yank it back to the workbench. So that's working pretty well. We had that one issue. I want to test that. I think it's a tank value. And so what we'll do here is let's grab this. Let's save this. I'll do this one. Let's grab, autosave the box. Let's see, there it is. Okay, there's the autosave box. And what do I want to do in here? Doesn't need to be in this box, but we'll do it in here anyway. Fill this with air, spawn it. All right, what's your volume there, son? Tank contents. So we're at 60 atmospheres. All right, we need to count up these liters. And if it's less than the amount of liters we need, that's probably the problem. So 2198 plus 584 plus 1.11, 2783. So this tank is not big enough to hold the 4,400 liters we need. So that would probably explain that. And the other one had it. The other system, what it was doing is filling both the room, and it was also filling the tank. So why did I do that yet? Let's go back to the box. Let me save the box. Underwater test box. Okay. It doesn't need to be underwater, but it's just easier for me to do it under here. All right, so 2 of those would do it. But I want to grab a tank medium. Let's grab this sucker. Like this medium tank is what I have in the front for the ballast system. It has this tank in it. Because that holds 7. What are you doing over there, jackass? I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye fall when I was jumping in my box. It was the helicopter crashing. Let's see. This one is, yeah, that's 5,000 plus, so 64, so about 6,400 and change. 6,480 something. So this one would hold the whole room. All right, good. So good to know. And then what did I say? 21s. Oh shit! Let me check it again. I should have done the small. I didn't write down the small tanks because we can only go up to 60 atmospheres, which I'm all for. I understand people were kind of bummed out when the devs were like made a 60 atmosphere limit. They have to put some limit on there. You know, you're not gonna make everybody happy no matter what. If somebody wants to make a super small rocket that can go to the moon 10 times in a row, they're gonna be pissed off that, oh my god, I can't go to the moon 100 times on a rocket that should not be able to go to the moon 100 times. So, you know, and then you have the realism crew who wants more realism. So it's a balancing act. You know, they're never gonna please everybody. And they had to come up with some number. They went in super easy mode, I think, with making it so the water pressure is, the air pressure can always go higher than water pressure. People have been asking for that for a long time, is faster pumping and stuff like that. 2782. So if we can run 2 of these in there, we have more than enough capacity. Okay. Now let's go in here, see if we can load this up with some capacity. Alright, we have space, so we're good. How big is these tanks? 1, 2, they're 3s. Okay, 3 in the fitting. Yeah, it's gonna make it annoying. I can fit them here. So what we're gonna do is cut you. Okay. You know, the nice thing here is it's pretty easy math if you're just adding your tanks together. You know that, you know, if you take the air out of the room and store it in tanks, you know that you're gonna always have enough air to push the water back out because you're taking out a certain amount, you're putting back a certain amount. You know you're always gonna have enough to get back to where you need to. So, you know, that's really I find that to be a good way to do it because you're putting out as much as you need to put back in. You know it's always going to work. So we're doubling the tanks on here. All right. So this should pump into both tanks. They're set to 0, so they're designed to take all the room and put it into these 2 vacuum tanks at the moment. And then, so they'll be pumped in with dual pumps. They'll come down in here and they'll push into these 2 tanks to store it. The pumps act as one-way, yeah, the pumps don't leak. Impellers do leak. If you put an impeller, you have to put a one-way valve. So yeah, you can speed it up with an impeller, but then you're putting a one-way valve on there. So you could do it. Plus, you have to run that with an electric motor or some other torque source. They're very electric hungry. So doing it this way, these 2 pumps are going to push the air into these 2 tanks, which can store up to 5,000 plus, which this room is 4,000. And then it will go, when we open this valve, it's going to go to the path of least resistance. The pressure is going to push through here from high pressure up through the valve, through this filter, which only allows water in there. Now, so yeah, it only allows air in there, and it's going to push it out. So. Now, because when we're pumping from the room, right, the room is, let's say, 1 atmosphere, right? So we need the dual pump. We don't need them, but I want them, the dual pumps, because we're sucking out air at 1 atmosphere. The air pressure is not helping us to get the air out. It is when the water pushes the air to the top that is helping us. But I have dual pumps to try to speed it up. And the other thing is these cap out at 60. The closer they get to 60, the longer it's going to take. If we have 2 pumps and we have 2 tanks, we can pressurize both these tanks to 60. If we have 1 tank, we'd have to pressurize to 60. If we have 2 tanks, we're pressurizing to 30. And so this makes it quicker by doing it like this, frankly. So let's quickly spawn this. I'm just going to rock this sucker to the ground. And then we're just going to test it here. I don't need to go out to test it here. We're working the throttle system. Start getting some of this bridge going. All right. See, what I'm doing here is I'm pumping the air out of the ballast system, okay? And it's making the pressure less than that. Now watch this. Shut it off. Still filling, but it's fighting current ballast. The pumps are creating a low pressure, helping the water come in. So with the pumps on, it's only pumping air out. It's not pumping. Actually, I do have a water pump in there. That's a lie now. I did put one in. So that's probably most of the rate change is that if I was just doing air pressure, I could shut the pump right off as soon as I get below. So what you could do is PID control it, where if it's greater than 1, no water's coming in. If it's less than 1, water's coming in. And if it is 1, you maintain. So what you would do is you put a PID in there. You say, I want 1 atmosphere. That means I don't want any more water and I don't want any less water. And so you do that. And then if you want more water, you'd say, okay, I want negative 0.5 atmospheres. The PID would suck out air, and as soon as it gets to negative 5, it would stop. And then you say, okay, I want more than that. It would open up a valve, and it would let air pressure in. But we're probably going to do kind of the same system as here because I think that's going to be a little bit speedier, and I don't want big man to have to spend 20 years testing my builds. I saw a spider. It was a chopper. Oh, very interesting. So, gonna just let this fill up in here, and then because we don't need to be completely underwater to fill this, we just need the ports there, so we'll start filling this up. So, filling pretty quickly. So there goes the gas. The gas is coming out pretty fast. This should move faster theoretically because, again, we're not pushing into one tank, we're pushing into two, so it's going to be half the pressure, and so the pumps don't have to fight as hard to get that air in there. They're working less hard, and so they can get more in. It's like trying to throw some marbles in a room while somebody's pushing on the door. You can push the door open a little, throw a couple marbles in. The harder they push, the fewer marbles you can throw in each toss. If you could throw that door wide open, you could throw a big bag of marbles in there and be good to go. So as the person pushes more and more of the pressure, fewer and fewer marbles are going in, essentially. So this system works pretty fast now. So I'll put a cool panel on this. There's going to be a whole locking system that if there's any water in this tank, in this room, this locks, and this locks. Well, this locks and this locks. This will become unlocked once the pressure is equal inside here to outside. We'll do water. When the water is full, I might just do water full. I'll come up with an elaborate system. It will know if we're underwater or not. So this will only become open when it's equalized. That way I can't flood my living room here. I can't flood my drives area there. Yeah, so here we are, liquid's coming in. It's going to pressurize this air. As the liquid comes up, it's crushing the air in there. So the liquid is all marbles touching each other, and the air is marbles not touching each other. They're bouncing around. And so as the liquid comes up, eventually it gets those marbles so close together, it gets to critical pressure, which in game is 60. The marbles of the air are so close, they're vibrating now. They're so close, they're not necessarily touching, but they're vibrating and bouncing off each other. Because once they get to a point where they are solid touching each other, you now have a liquid. That's when the gas will turn into a liquid, essentially. Jeremiah O'Brien, I don't know about that. It'll probably, my new naming scheme is generally an animal, unless I want to go back to put a Greek god on there. Alright, so I will be right back. I'm just going to grab a quick drink while this is finishing the last couple seconds. Be right back. Alright, so we're gonna check these numbers. Look at that, 2156.11659. My understanding is this goes out to 10 decimal places, IRL, in game rather. So it shows 6, but there's another 4 decimal places, so for example, some of your systems aren't going to run right if you try to get it exactly. You have to do ranging because of it. But notice the gas level's down to 0.2. You know, we'll see. I'm going to pull this hatch. It is pushing me out, so this was not happening yesterday. Something's up that I did that I need to fix. So, because that's what they fixed yesterday in the update. It was doing this thing, essentially pushing me out with air pressure before yesterday's update, and then it was fixed with my old system. So I'm curious what's up. Oh, I wonder if it's the water being pumped. It is. That's it. I bet you that's it. I wonder if that's it. I wonder if it's the water being pushed out. Let's test it. So where in the world I need to press Control and not frickin' Shift. All right, let's shut this off and let's try now. The devs talked about one of the ways they fixed fluid was or changed fluid to make it behave a little bit more gamified, so it was easier and more understandable. Was they added compressibility, a small amount of compressibility to liquids. In IRL, you can't compress liquids unless they're very rare cases, dying stars and whatnots. But so I'm curious if the compressible liquids is pushing me out. So let's test this theory of mine. Nope, that's not it. So it wasn't that it was pumping me out. Let's check. I'll check all my ports, make sure those are not moving. See, this was the issue I was having 2 days ago that made me think I was going to have to abandon this. And then it was working, and now it's not. So something that I did that I changed, notice it's blowing air out for some reason. I don't know why, so I have to figure it out. Because I won't be able to get back in. Because it's going to push me away. So what I'm going to do is shut this, and I need to check all my ports. And eventually I'll put a seat in here so I can just sit in here and test all my info, but... So notice it's pushing me to the top. Before I had it where it stopped pushing me to the top. Let's see. Okay, so here is a fluid port 0. That's a dead fluid port. That one is showing at 59.2 atmospheres. 59. It should be showing 0 atmospheres, frankly. So that's 59. So the water's showing 59s. That's curious. So I think I might know what it is. We'll see. Might know what's up. I'll have to check it. What I could do is put a bleeder system. So essentially it equalizes the pressure from outside and inside when it is full of water. That's something to test next. So see how it's pushing me to the top while I'm sitting in here? When my old system, eventually when it equalized, instead of being pressed up against the door, it would cause me to float down to the bottom, or sink down to the bottom. Let's see where we're at here. Gas is at 0. We have no gas in here whatsoever. We have 2155. We're a little bit low on water. Let's see if we can get some more water in here. If I can get that water exactly to 56, I'm curious if that will solve it. Let's test that out. Alright, so we're going to try to get it exactly to 2156.25. We'll see if we get an equalization effect. What should happen, I saw it work yesterday. See, this is one thing too, is like, you got to keep testing things and see, because yesterday this worked, now it's not. It's not something the game did, it's something I did. I changed my system. And so what I'm hoping is that if we can get us to 2156.25, we can get right on the numbers, which is looking like it won't allow us to. I should sink to the bottom of the volume here. It happened before, so what I have to do is try to think about my old system and see why that allowed that to happen. So notice the number is still rising, but very, very slowly now. This last little bit is going to be really slow to fill. We're not that far off. We'll wait it out and get there. But I want to see if it's going to oscillate. All right, so there's a little bit of pressure differential. You notice we have no air in here, but there's a pressure differential. I'm curious too if it's in the ports here. I'm curious if the fluid ports are storing some gas. See how they're showing at 60 and 60. That one's also sitting at 60, this liquid port. So let's open the hatch. It's pushing me out, so likely it's still doing it. Now the doors will create like almost like a faux little seal. Where I go over it, there I go. So we have to figure this out. So let's pull this back in. All right, let's go to this save. And let's save. Did I save that one? This one. I didn't make any changes, did I? No. We should make sure I didn't make any changes here before I have to go to the autosave. Okay. So let's look at this really quickly. We have the port directly there. The water port. And we have the port directly here. Okay. That's got a port there. That's the rebound. So I wonder if it's trapping it somewhere in the fluid ports. Let's go ahead and open up the old version. Which I hope I saved the old version. We'll see if I did or not. Yep, this is the old version. All right, good. So we'll save this old version. I'm going to quickly do this. All right, so this airlock works. I want to test it and make sure it works, first of all. All right, we'll fill this, John. So I bet you I know what it is. This one has passive. This one has a passive equalization system on it. So if you look in here, what are we? We're not in the editor, so I got to move that one. Okay. If you look, did I take it out? Maybe I took it out. Okay. This one had a passive equalization system in. So what it did was it went from this port through a liquid exchanger, right? And then a liquid equalization valve, and then it went in the room. So I bet you that's what was causing it, because that makes it work. We're gonna go test that system out. We're not gonna worry about syncing this. And so what that was letting it do is equalize it out. I bet you that's what it is. So let's put that in, see if I fix it with that. I've got a good thought process that that's what it is, or a good assumption that's what it is. Okay. So let's go ahead and, is this the old one? I want the new one. All right, this one. So let's put that in there and see if we can equalize out the pressure, because at some point I want to do a tutorial on this, and I want to actually understand it before I do a tutorial out. Imagine that. No, don't do that. Okay. I'll find a good place for this. We'll put it right here. Beautiful. I want to kind of line these up. I don't know, maybe I'll like crisscross pattern, probably not, but let's see. I put two more for facade anyway. So what we'll do here is we'll do a liquid. I need to valve them if I do that. I can still do it. All right, let's do... Symmetry should be on. We on symmetry? We are, okay. So I'm going to go up here. I have the room for this, mercifully. Not that. Stop trying to adhere to things, you scum. Just go to where I want, not where... I'm in a block, so it won't let me rotate. That's the thing. A lot of new players are like, ah, it won't let me rotate. It's like, you're in a block. See, I'm sitting in a block. You can't rotate when you're in a block. All right, let's then go to... We want a liquid valve. So a liquid equalization valve. Actually, I'm gonna put it downstream more. So let's put a regular valve here. We want to make sure it's oriented the correct direction. So there is fluid out right there. Okay, good. I can't come back there if I do that. All right, and then we'll put 2 equalization ports here. It's gonna be annoying if I put them there. Go up 1. Okay. That's in the way now. Being complicated. Because I need to put an equalization valve in there. Do I really though? Yeah, or air will get out. Getting tight on space in here. These valves are enormous. That's part of the problem here. Can I even put a cap on that? Let's see if I can put a cap on this. No, because of the big pump. No, I can. Okay, I can put a cap on there. All right, that's fine. I need to get an equalization valve in there somewhere. It actually doesn't matter which direction it goes, I don't think. Let's try something. Yeah, like this is, I love the new manual valves. They're a good size. This one is absolutely enormous. All right, let's go. Like this. Okay, let's go like this. Let's go valves. Because this was the thing I had on the other system that I think was what was allowing it to equalize properly. And this one doesn't want to equalize properly because of it. Because it's missing. So, what is on that side that it doesn't like? Oh, it's the valve head there. So can I rotate this valve head? I don't think I can. Shiza, shiza, shiza. Shit. I can't rotate that. That will hit that. All right. Let's go with 1 for now. And then if I need the other one, I don't think I'll need the other one though. All right, so when I fill the room, which is a fill, this is fill. Fill up. All right, that's fill. It's going to open this one valve. We'll run this one valve for now. And so that's going to let the water pressure outside come through here and equalize with the water pressure inside the volume. So that's, I had that on the other system as for passive fill, and it was working better. So I think there's a tiny little bit of pressure that I can't get fixed. So hopefully this will fix that. Let's quickly get this moving down faster. All right. So I'm hoping this will kind of, I think this is the main difference between the two builds. Yeah, you don't want to use, you don't want the gas blow off. What you could do is, you don't, this is actually how I would do it, Owl. So you open the tube, that's going to be a big volume blowing forwards. What you need to do is blow air backwards too. So you would put an equal blowout force backwards. So it would still, so imagine the torpedo, right, is in the center. is on the left side of the room. If you expand the air at equal rate, it's still going to push the torpedo out to the left, but it's also going to push the air out to the right, and it's going to equalize the force. So instead of like pushing all the way out, you don't need that much force, I don't think, to push a torpedo out. It would equalize the force, so you'd have some of the air blow out backwards. And so what you could do, I bet, is open up a door backwards and open the torpedo tube, and then it would allow you to vent. And so you actually, like, so if you did, say you did like a sliding door, and then you did like, you know, on the torpedo tube in there, and then you let the air out, it should push equally out. So that would be my thought for it. Yeah, we're looking here. So this is letting water in. Okay, this is much slower now. Here. Why isn't that pumping? This is not pumping water in. Let's see what the hell is wrong with this. Did I delete something? I don't think I did. Let's try something here. This has already caused me a little bit of problem here because of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a manual valve on this. And let's do it on one side. Okay. I got a little space under here, so let's go. The door is going to be in the way there, Shiza. If I do this, I could put something there. Alright, I think we'll be alright. Let's keep playing with this. Because I don't want that equalization valve going off too soon. Slow down my rate. So let's go like this. Or we just manually control it for now. Instead of me rebuilding this for no good reason, let's do this. Let's add one more on here. This is just going to be the equalization valve. This is going to run that. This will run that valve. This is still running. Okay, somehow this got disconnected. Oh, that's the valve. I don't want that. Where's my motors? Pump, pump. Okay, so this is the out pump. Okay, this is the in pump. Alright, those are the valve. That's the two pumps there. Okay, this is going to be the out. And that does the big valve. Yeah, okay. Alright, that should work now. Let's try that. I'm thinking I'm onto something here. It's because this was on before. It was allowing the water to equalize pressure, and now I'm not able to equalize the pressure of the water effectively. So it's flowing water in. Just don't see it yet. Why is that so low? It's probably we're above the water line. That could have been it. There could be nothing wrong with this, and it was just we were still not underwater yet. I bet that's what it is. We're not underwater yet. I was overthinking it. I think we're starting to take in water now. See if this increases rate. No, we're done. We're not pumping any water anymore. What the frack? What the frack, man? Why are we not pumping any water? Something got screwed up somewhere. Liquid meter, no liquids coming in. Fuck. Gas is going down. All right. Just making a suffocation chamber in here. All right, let's look at this. Something got screwed up somewhere. Okay. that for now. This friggin' valve bent scum. Alright, so we gotta follow the path of all this crapola and see what's going on here. Alright, so the water should be coming in on this side here. I don't know how this got screwed up. So water comes in here. It gets accelerated out through the pump into this liquid exchange here, into the fluid port here. So that's fine. I don't see any problem with that. That's being plumbed up here for fill. Okay. This sucks the air out of the room. This also fills that. I don't know. Nothing changed there. This is the fluid pump here for empty. I don't know what changed. That is now, it hates me. Okay. Let's see what's up now. And then, so it's going to pump into those two tanks. Did I change anything that I didn't notice on symmetry? That comes in here, through the pumps, goes into the tanks. The tanks then go up this elbow into the valve, which is fine up there. Okay. Maybe we want to flip this, but that shouldn't do anything to it. And then I'm just going to delete this stuff on this side that doesn't do anything for me here. Yeah, so I don't see any problem with this. I don't know why it's not pumping for shit now. I wonder if I got clogged with air because I started before it was underwater. Let's get this underwater. Try to follow the same conditions each time. Get underwater first. And then we'll see. I want to make sure that I can get this tested right. 'Cause I think that's the thing, is the equalization. You know, so put an equalization valve on there. Once the room, like, I'll say once the room gets within 1 liter of max fill, that opens and it equalizes the pressure out. And then once the value of the room is 20, you know, whatever it is, 20 exactly on the money, it will close the equalization valve. 4 boxes, yeah, for the 8 speed, yeah. I got you. It's both. It has them on either side and at the bottom, but minimal on the sides. Most of it's under the belly. Yeah, I'll see you later there, Connor. Alright, let's see. Are we syncing up? We're definitely syncing. It's just taking me a second. Alright, it's filling. I'm going to let this get all the way under. I don't want to screw something up. So let's look at all these ports. This one's not connected to anything, so we get nothing. This one's at 1 atmosphere. I think it's got something to do with these go into 60 atmosphere. Notice right now, sitting passively, they're at 1 atmosphere. I think there's air getting trapped in these. So maybe I have to go to the big one. Maybe these are, because the other one also had the other type of fluid port. So we'll see if that is the cause, but I don't know. I'm skeptical. Like, see, these have showing 1 atmosphere. They were showing 60s before. So if that's the case, that really isn't the way it should be. I'll write up a bug report at some point, but I want more testing before I feel confident to put it in as a bug. We gotta be getting close to this being ready to go under. It's getting there. Need about 5,000 to completely sink it out. Let that run for a minute. Definitely want to get this under, because if that's any sort of thing I'm taking air in, I doubt it, into the outside ports. Want to make sure I ruled that out before I screw up the test, because it takes a little while to test it. So, but this is gonna be kind of cool. You know, good amount of time on Big Man's when this is due for the challenge. A lot of good space in here for. I raised this this conning tower up a little bit higher to make sure I'm looking right out the window, because your head's about 1 block over the seat back, and then so this gives us plenty of like space for plenty of dials and gauges. They'll go down the sides here like this. They'll go across the top, and so that'll be kind of nice to get that all lined up, and you know, should be able to get this looking pretty good in here. A lot of different options. This will have panels in here, and it will have indicator lights at each door. Like I don't know which direction this one's going, but each of these will have an indicator light on them, showing their status, if they're locked or not locked. They will auto lock and unlock, so you can't flood anything inadvertently. You have to make sure you clear it out. We'll see if I have space. I might be able to put in a diving suit right here on the bottom, and then put the panel up here. Probably be able to fit that, because it's a 3x3, so it should fit in this footprint there. So you can put the actual diving suit in there. And, you know, and then this can stay open during normal operation. So this is how it goes in normal operation. So you want to go up, down, you want to dick around down here, great. You want to come back up, and you want to operate. You know, you can operate, come in and out at will, and then in the case you want to go, you know, if you want to just go out, you're surfaced. I'm going to just jump in the seat again here, if I can get there. If you want to go out, you know, on the surface, you just close this hatch, and you go out, you know. And this will be a jump out, so I'm going to probably put a handle somewhere here, so I jump up and do the handle to get out, because I'm not putting a ladder in here. That's silliness. Something to grab. And then if you wanted to actually, you know, use this as an airlock, all you have to do is step in this corner. The door, you clear the door fine, and then you use it. So kind of a multi-function room here. So most of the time this will probably stay open like this, and then you can still close this door with that hatch open. So that's why I have everything aligned like that, is it makes it so that everything will operate properly. So kind of like the setup of that. I like it being a little bit tight. I don't want it being overly, you know, spacious. All right, we're starting to get there on sinkage here. I'll let us go all the way to the bottom. We're almost there. We have like 1,200 liters to get us down the bottom. Nah, I don't want a seat rotation. I have to bump it up a block. I don't have the space to bump it up a block. Doesn't interest me either. I'd rather walk around the seat. I can still walk out of the seat here. Fine. So, doesn't interest me, a seat rotation. Of course they do, Citrus. Had a good teacher. Yeah. That's the thing, is once you understand, you know, that gears are just levers, and you're changing the length of the lever, and it's just many levers put on a spindle, and you understand that, you know, you're trading torque for RPS or vice versa, you say, oh, I don't have enough power. Okay, well, I need a down gear. You know, and then you just drop the total ratios down, and now you get some power. Okay, I want more power, but I also want to be able to go faster. Okay, well, I'm going to need to add more gears, you know, and so you start to understand the mechanics of how gearing works. It makes it work well. I might just put in a test setup here where I put a bunch of weight on the outside so that I don't have to ballast it to get it to drop down if we still have test problems. But we're going to try to see. Hopefully that valve fixes this. All right, we're going to start the test here. I don't want to wait any longer. So let's fill. All right, good. So it's pouring in now. I don't know what was going on before, but it wasn't pouring in before. It's got to be that. It's got to be the pressure differential was keeping this from coming in. That's got to be what it is. It's got to be something with those fluid ports and pressure differential. Yeah, the engine, a low gear ratio, the engine can always handle. It's going too high is the problem. You know, you could have a 1-cylinder engine move the space shuttle. You know, a tiny little one cylinder, if you had the right gear ratio, it would take you forever. Like, let me see if I can find it. You know, they have insanely high gear ratios where, for example, like, I can't show them all, but like, here's one. So, like, this gear ratio right here goes up to, it's not showing what it is, but, like, this is, some of these are like, oh, the final gear will turn in 1 billion years. And so that gear will turn no matter what. You know, it's like, this, you know, what will happen is, like, it could move anything, but it would break the gear if the gear is not strong enough. But you know, it would say if the gear was strong enough, it would move anything. You know, because essentially it's a lever, and you're just adding the length of the lever. Eventually, you know, your lever gets so big it just, you know, will work. But it, you know, so understand the mechanics of it, you know, you really can start to solve these problems. That's why, like, I go a little bit more in detail with my tutorials is, you know, frankly, a 5-minute tutorial for a really complicated thing is not enough. You know, it's okay to copy what that person said. You can do what they said, but you don't know why they did what they did. It's better to show you the theory behind it, get you on board, because what you'll see, and one of the reasons why I make my tutorials longer is, you had a lot of people, they would watch a 5-minute tutorial. Hey, it's super easy to build a coaxial helicopter. Watch this 5-minute tutorial, like and subscribe. And then in 5 minutes, they're like, oh, put this here, put this there, put this here, put this there, put this here. Oh, it's on the workshop. And one, because it's going fast and it's moving quickly, you're not going to probably notice the nuance of it. And two, you never learn why it worked. You just, it's like saying, hey, put this round peg in this square hole, put this one in this one. And yeah, you can plug it in, plug green wire into green outlet, plug blue wire into blue outlet. That doesn't really teach you anything. Now, if you learn why something works, when you have a problem, you can now figure out how to fix it. And the other thing, too, is you know the right questions to ask is, so many people come on Reddit and everywhere else asking for help, and they don't know how to ask for help because they don't know what's wrong and they can't explain it. Like if Citrus came to me and said, you know, I'm having this problem in my truck. You know, I think I put in low enough gear ratios, but it's stalling out in third gear. It's not stalling out in any other gear. You know, so it's definitely not too low of a gear. If I go in a fourth, it's still running. So I don't know, I'm at a loss. I now know where to look. I know what is likely causing the problem. I go, okay, well, there's got to be a bad connection, because if first and second are working, third's not working, fourth and fifth are working, there's got to be something disconnected with that third gear that's just making that ratio not work right. You know, so that's part of the thing is when you understand the systems and you understand how things work, you can also ask the right questions and figure it out. You know, if you don't, you really can't. You know, you really don't even know. You don't know what you don't know. You can't ask the right questions to get that fixed. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're looking for me to sink to the middle. Notice how I'm still pushed up against the top. I'm getting glitched through the block because the pressure in the room is pushing me up. That's the whole point of this relief, is I'm hoping that will fix it. It should. And I'm thinking it has something to do with it. As you notice here, it's showing these fluid ports are at 59 atmospheres. I think that is part of the problem. And I think this will equalize the pressure. So I think the water pressure is at 60. And so it's pushing on everything. And then the water's trying to rush out. Because we'll have zero air. Look how close we are to zero air. Like, we're going to get within 0.0 something of this value. But there'll still be a big enough difference that I think the delta P, the change in pressure, is enough that the game is saying, oh, change in pressure, push you out. You know, so I think that's the issue. And so by putting a relief valve on there, what we should be able to do is get rid of that delta P. We should be able to let the pressure go through this this port here and out. Or in from the outside, whatever's the higher number. Okay, so we're close enough here. So let's look at our numbers. We're 2156.1, so we're 0.15 off, a little bit less than that. Let's get this gas level, get all the way to 0. Let's see if we sink in this volume. I don't think we will until we do the relief valve. But this is not unheard of either. Like say you did a system like this, the likelihood you get it perfect is probably okay, but then if you do a final valve where you essentially open a small door, it's then going to equalize the pressure. It's like kind of like if we had like we're opening the airplane door, we might get a little hiss of air go out because there's a little bit of a tiny differential in pressure. But you can overcome it by opening the handle. It relieves the pressure on the door, lets a little escape through the crack, and then you can get the door open because now they're equalized. All right, let's get this gas level low, low, low. All right, so notice we're stopped pretty much. So we're within 0.13 of the value here. I'm going to let this gas, the gas will go to 0. We already tested that out. You know, I want to do a quick tutorial. It'll be super fast. It's essentially going to be like, people are still asking the question of like, oh, it doesn't make any sense that I can put 100 liters of air in a 1 liter tank. And the reason you can is 1 liter of air is assumed to be at 1 atmosphere. If you put it at 60 atmospheres, you can put 60 liters of air in that 1 liter container. And, you know, so a lot of people aren't understanding that. The other thing is the mass of gases, so they don't think gases weigh anything. So, for example, 1 liter of oxygen weighs 1.43 grams. So if you put 2 liters of oxygen in there, right, you now have 2.86 grams of mass in there. And that's why you'll get people like, oh, if I put compressed air in my tanks, my ship will float higher. No, it'll float lower. It still has the same displacement, but you're adding more mass. And so it needs more buoyancy, more displacement to overcome that new mass you added. If you could make it 0 oxygen in that tank, well, now you just lost 2 grams of mass. You're now going to float even higher. So you actually want to get rid of the air. You don't want to pump air in to float up higher. Now, you want to pump air in to replace water because water is much heavier than you know, air. Liter of water weighs a kilogram. You know, a liter of oxygen weighs 1.43 grams, you know. So it's like, what, 500 times heavier? You know, more than that, but around that for how much heavier water is than oxygen. All right, I'm not going to go to 100 decimal places because even if we get this down to 0 on there, there are still like 4 decimal places after it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to equalize. So notice I'm still pushed against the roof, so likely I can't get out. If I do this, let's see what that's doing. So notice what it's doing. It's relieving the fluid port pressure. They were at 60 before. So this might be the way to do it here. So let's see. Okay, so notice the liquid level went up. Notice the liquid level went down, so some of the water went out. So let's check the pressure differential. So now we're at 4 atmospheres. Before we were at 60 on these. So I'm thinking that is what the culprit is. All right, so let's check it really quick. Let's make sure this equalizes out properly. All right, so we still have a positive pressure in here. Notice it's, all right, let's see if this equalizes it out. Let's try getting out of here, see what it does. There we go, baby. Let's see if I can get, there we go. That was it. Beautiful. So I figured it out. This is the problem. So when you build your locks, you need to have an equalization system. Without an equalization system, it is still going to carry some delta P. Delta is change, P is pressure, so the differential in pressure. So one side of the door had a higher pressure than the other. In our case, the inside of the compartment had more pressure than the outside of the compartment. And because of that, it's like a river. We're trying to swim against a river to get back in here. And so that simple equalization system there. So what we'll do is when this gets within, say, 99% of full, it will shut off the fill and it will turn on the equalization valve. And, or I could do it with pressure. And what you noticed is all these fluid ports were reading, they were reading a value of 60 atmospheres. So these were giving us 60 atmospheres to push us out. When I did the equalization valve, they went down to 4.5. If you notice, first time we still got pushed out, but now when we're back in here, look at them, they're 1.5 or 1.1 atmospheres. So that equalization valve is allowing these ports to equalize. So that fixed the system. So now, as you notice, I can swim in and out. So that is that's awesome. So this actually makes these usable, where you can actually swim back in, and we would get in here, and now we would undo the equalization valve, and we would empty the chamber. So notice the air is getting pushed back in. The air is pressurized in our tanks. and it's going to fill this air volume. Now, remember, I only took the air out of this room, so this should equalize our pressure. So, for example, when I open this door, it's not going to cause a big rush of air in between the bridge and this airlock because the room only took out the amount of air that was in the room and stored it. So by storing your air, you know you always have the correct amount of air going back in. I took out 4,400 liters. I put back in 4,400 liters. The pressure is equalized, you know, so pretty simple like that. You know, for example, if I wanted to push the water out faster, I could super pressurize the air. Let's say I put a third tank. That third tank was at 60 psi. Yeah, push this water out, but now the room has too much air in it, and I need to suck that air back out. So you could do that. You could hyper pressurize to speed up the water going out. Do I think it's worth it? No. Just have some patience. It doesn't take that long. You know, like I did the timing. It was 2 minutes and 28 seconds to fill. It looks like it's probably going to be a little bit less than that going out, as we are going at 21 liters per second out because the air is helping us. So to pump in, I was at 16 liters per second. Pumping out, I'm at 22. So the air pressure is giving me an extra, what was it? What did I say, 16? So an extra 6-something liters per second because of the air pressure. So, whoopsie, I didn't think it would handle the high rate. Oh, yes. I figured that's what you meant, Citrus, as he redacts his message. Yeah. I know what you said, but I figured it was a good commentary to put out. Like here, I'll let this empty for really quick. I love gearing and all that, so let's do a quick little thing. So I'm back in the tutorial mode. If you notice, the first video of the Steam tutorials is out. The next two are going to be short. They're just going to be me pretty much taking the setup, hooking up an electric, hooking up a coal, showing you that they work the same, or just showing you the differences. Then I'm going to go into pistons. I've already tested the pistons a bunch. I talked to Tripper, got a couple tips off of him. So you purge water by letting the air push out. It's a compound system. So there is a pump. The pump is pushing it out. The air is coming in the top. So it takes the air in the room and it stores it. It pressurizes it. And then when the pump turns on to push the water out, it also lets the air back in. So the air is pushing down. And what you'll notice here is it's going faster and faster as the air is increasing its volume in the room. Yeah, I have done it. Like my regular ballast system there, Daniel, is passive. The problem is I don't want it to take too long for Big Man. He's got to do these tests. I don't want him to have to spend forever trying to get my system. You can do it fully passive. I've done fully passive systems where air pressure is 1, no water exchange. Air pressure is less than 1, water comes in. Air pressure is greater than 1, water goes out. The problem is you're going to have to pig control it. You're going to have to be precise. And by adding a pump to it, it will increase the speed and kind of the reliability a little bit, because you'll get to a point where once your air tanks fill this whole room, the air pressure is going to be at 1 atmosphere. And so, yeah, you're going to push water out, but the last, say, like gallon of water is going to be very, very slow. And so by doing the pump will help get this water out faster. So eventually, when we were down to this level, it would be very, very slow to get the water out. Because the pump is in there, you notice it's still pumping water out pretty quickly. So that's why I went to a pump-assisted system, is it's just a lot quicker. I am curious if I put, I am curious if I put a gas relief valve on both sides of that big pump, if it would fix the room, but I don't mind having a relief valve. That's going to be automated anyways. It's going to be a pretty much single button operation. Fill the airlock with water, empty the airlock with water. All the doors will lock, unlock. It will, once we get within 99% of fluid capacity, it will open up the equalizer and shut off the fill pumps. And then once we're equalized, all these doors, this door will unlock. You can go in and out, and then once you close that door and the system starts up and this is empty, it will then unlock. It will lock this door. It will lock and unlock these two doors. So, like, see right now, the liquid level's still going out at a really good rate. It's going out at 136 liters per second. Again, this is when the devs need the pat on the back. This was something we've been asking for a long time. Better pump rates. They gave it to us. They get their pat on the back. They got their slap. They certainly did with everybody giving them shit, which was rightfully so for the pressure update. But we need to also acknowledge the good things that happen. I think the good things will eventually outweigh the bad things because most of the bad things are fixed now, and we got some really cool mechanics. See how it stands me up? I didn't stand myself up. It stood myself up. Once the water came out and the pressure equalized, it stood me back up. So like right now, right here, this last little bit of liquid would take forever to get out if I didn't have a pump. Because the air would push it, but it would push it very slowly. By doing it with the pump, you notice we're still going to get the water out. So it's nice and quick this way. So I would recommend doing a hybrid system like this. It just kind of a lot less foolproof. The only problem I see is surface exit. Without a ladder, you can't get out. What I'm going to do is probably put a handle. Oh, we're underwater. Shit. Okay. I didn't realize we were underwater. That will be locked in the future, and it will show me a red light saying no. And so that will just pump this out. That will take a second to pump this out. Yeah, I will. I'm going to put a handle in there to get out. Probably put like a vertical handle right in front, and I'll just use it. Because you would, and I could put a ladder in here, but I would have to push this wall back. It's not the end of the world. I would have to push this wall back, and I would have to push the conning tower one more block. I really don't want to increase its size. That means all the blocks up around the side here. That's all weight that I don't want to add. To add a ladder, then I have to add high weight. I'm trying to be really, really careful with how much high gravity I add. And so what I'll do is I'll put a, like IRL, you'd be able to step in this window frame and use a handle to get out. So I'm going to put a handle right above here and grab that. And it's like you would do a pull-up and pull your ass out of there. Yeah. Now, it won't have a separate exit. It'll just be kind of use a handle to get out. Let me see. We'll actually test the handle right now. I don't need to let this surface. So this system is working. Yay. That has a new working airlock. So that one relief valve fixed the whole system. This one relief valve made the system work. So that's important to understand that is something you may need in your build if you're struggling with that. So let's test out a handle, see how I like it. Okay. The ladder just ruins a lot of the look for me, so I try to be careful. I still need to put in some sort of snorkel. So let's see. There we go. And crouch. Let's see if I can use the handle to get out. Maybe not yet. Let's see. All right, I have another idea. The handle's not going to work. Not going to work. It's not going to be elegant. Let's put it that way. Could flip this door around and put two ladder segments here to climb off the roof, but what we can do is, let's see. All right, let's do this. Might come up with a different procedure. We'll make it a procedural thing where the use a process to get out. So, okay, we won't be able to stand on that because it's one block over. Okay, so that's not going to work. Let's see how high that goes up. So it can go above here in the window. Let's go ahead and we will delete that. I didn't mean that to be that color. Okay. music stopped. Here, let's restart that. I'm just going to test this out for functionality, and we'll see if it works. Might be a little bit wonky. It might not work, so let's see. So that could be one block off. We'll see if I can get my toe on there. Okay. Actually, you know what we can do? Let's do this. I can make a ladder work and actually not look ugly. Let's do that. So a ladder has to be 2 blocks to work. Are you a dead block? I think you are. Yeah, you're a dead. You're a dud. Ah, that's gonna screw up that whole fucker. Didn't do that. That's gonna screw that up. And you need 2 ladder pieces, so we're just gonna stick them here for now, and then I'll figure this out. It's gonna have to go all the way to the top. It needs to go there, but I'm just trying to... There we go. Alright, so that could be something like that. Any of the 2 ladder segments. Not a huge fan of it, but I could put a ladder up here. Let's do this. I'd have to move a bunch of this stuff, so that's a thought. I would rather have some way to climb out, personally. So let's do this really quick. So I just want to test something. So we'll put 2 blocks like that. So what I could do is like a tilt down step. I think that would be a little bit more interesting and elegant. Like you have a tilt down step, you step on the step, okay, and then you're out. I think that's better for me than having a ladder. I don't want it to take up a ton of space and be garish as shit, so I think I can make something cool and interesting like that, and that's what I'm all about here. Especially for a build, you know, for a challenge build. Let's see, I'm trying to think the best way to do this. I could do this. Nah, I don't want the ladder at all. I don't like a ladder. The ladder is very big. So if I can do something with a pivot, let's see where I have a free space for pivot in here. Okay, so right here could do it. Okay. I want it hidden. I want it kind of a little bit on the... Alright, let's go like... I can't see it. Let's see. Ah, come on, you suck. Alright, let's stick it in here, and then I'll move it. Yeah, I definitely want it hidden. You're gonna be a pain in the ass, huh? It wants to be a pain in the ass, it really does. Alright. It's not going to innately want to be there. These are going to go up anyway, so let's go cut you up. Those go there. This comes across here like so. All right, good. Then this is going to be just kind of a step segment that will allow me to stand on it. Okay, you need to go over like that. You come over here. Okay, cut, cut. Cut, cut. All right, that is cut. This comes back in. Like so. You did not adhere to the right block. There you go. I would love them to give us some thin ladders. That would be sweet. Sweetie potatoes, that. All right, so that is going to be that. Is there any way to know if this is open? I don't think so. So let's go real quick, blank microcontroller. Let's do door, actually. Let's go door. So I'll stick this here really quick. I want another toggle button, we'll stick it there for the funsies of it. This will go here. This will go to, it's going to probably be in the way, but I'll push it back. Cut that. This will go here like so. And it'll give us like just a step. So like you would be pulling yourself out. Often you'll see like they have to drag themselves out of the submarines. And so you pull yourself out. And then, but you could step on this, so you're pulling yourself out. We can't really do that in game, but it's going to help you step up. So 1 is going to be all the way up. 0 is the pivot button. Beautiful. All right, that works. Is this connected? That's connected. This is connected. All right, good. So this should stow in the up position, which will make all the doors not be obscured. So it's in the up position. The problem is I need a stand here when I open this big door. Yeah, so that's going to be in the way for that. So I need to make this, yeah. I think I can figure that out so it works. Because I need to stand in that corner for that door, so that's actually not a free space. All right, let's try that, see if that's out of the way. I can open the door and then use that as a step out. Okay. Door is open. Step out comes up. Okay, it's 1 block too big now. All right, that works, but I have to crouch. So now I'd step up on that. Out. Come on in. Oh, fuck off. Come up and over. There we go. Come in. All right, let's see if I can get this door open here with me standing in the corner. If I crouch, I can do it. I don't want to crouch, though, so. I'll figure out something that I like that, because I'd rather jump out or climb out, because you'd grab on the edge, pull yourself out, but let's see. I'll see what I want to do here, but let's see if I can jump out. It's 1 block, I think, too high to jump out. I might be able to put a step on the big door, so when I open the big door, do something there, but let's see. Let's jump and crouch. Nope. Okay. The other thing is, I'm wondering if it's beneficial to flip this the other way around, but but jumping up in the back. try something here. Probably not going to like this, but we'll just put this on for now. I want to see if this works. There we go. Alright, so that works. Alright, good. So I think I can come up with a jazzy system that I actually enjoy that does this. I don't... Big Man's not here, is he? Big Man was here. I'd ask him... I still haven't asked what the dealio is on XML. So I don't know if it's completely permissible for XML. Because I'd just be hiding things with XML. It's not, I wouldn't actually do any performance or anything, but it'd be for hiding. Yeah, I'm not worried about it right now. Like, I need a couple steps up to jump out. That would ideally be my thing, to put a step in here. So I could do a fold down step. That's one of my ideas. But I'm really not all that concerned about it. I have a kind of a cool idea here. How many, 1, 2, 3, 5 wide on here? Okay. I kind of have a cool idea that I think will be fun, functional, and, will make the build work the way I want it to. Because I like something like you actually have to do some things in here. I like it a little bit more manual style, like you get involved in it, so that. So I have an idea that I think would be kind of cool. Oh, that's a corner piece, shiza. So I was like kind of thinking of making a manual little laddery thing here to hook up. Yeah, the problem is it's gonna be very short. not gonna worry about that right now. I have a couple of cool ideas that either something will slide in place so you can step on it, or it will be like an actual physical piece you have to attach. I was hoping to do like a connector. The problem is I don't have a good space to put it. I could hang it in here and move it. Let's try that really quick. I think this is kind of a little bit interesting to me, so if I can make it interesting, I'm happy with it. So, like, you know, I want it simple so that it works every time, but I want it interesting so that you actually want to use it. So, okay, the problem is these are corner pieces. Can't use that. That's the top bracket. That goes there. So let's go. All right, let's go connector in here, like so. So I'm trying to see if I can do a hanging ladder in here. Because it can't sit in the way where the door is going to interfere with it, so. Is that a one? Okay, that's a wedge. Now let's try this. I wanted something interesting. They have to actually like do something as a character to do. So here's that piece hanging. So we will grab it. My sound's all the way up? No, there's light. Alright, so we'll grab this and I'm trying to move it, but it's like where I'm standing. Okay, there we go. Why is this heavy? It seems like ultra heavy. That handle that heavy? The handle seems super duper heavy. Why is it like, it's not letting me manipulate it. Normally it does. It's like I have to get all the way over here to manipulate it. Okay. Nobody clicked on you, door. Piss off. This handle seems ultra heavy. I put it on a magall, it's fine. That's gonna go funky if I can't flip this around right. There we go, okay. So that was kind of the thought process, and then connect it to something over here and stand on it. Let's try something like that. Just trying to get something that I'm kind of interested in. Height's going to be a problem, but I can move it over one. All right. The handle, maybe the handle's just ultra heavy. I didn't think the handle was that heavy, but it feels like it's heavy. I put it on other things and the handle operates fine. Oh, piss off. pressing all the wrong buttons. Yeah, I like the idea of a movable ladder. Yeah, suggestions aren't... I'm not going to take any suggestions anyways. I just build everything on my own, so... I appreciate suggestions, but I just will not listen to them. Tend to come up with all my own solutions. It's kind of the part that I enjoy, so I don't give that up. Starting to get wide where it should fit through the door 3, but it's going to be cumbersome, so I have to see how cumbersome this becomes. I do kind of like the idea of like you have to put a ladder in place to get out of the sub. Kind of like, you know, putting a ladder in place to get in your plane. And that airlock's not growing again. It's at its max size. What's the differential on this one? Top to bottom, okay. Check this out. It's being a pain in the ass to try to... It's grabbing back on too quick. I'd have to put a switch to stop it. Alright, so interesting idea. That is kind of leaning more towards what I'm interested in, but yeah, I'm not going to worry about it now. There are 101 solutions I can come up with that I'll like. Don't delete the seat, please. Very little chat. Large pumps, mostly, just so I can get to the 60 atmospheres. So... running large here, large there, 2 larges to get the air out, just to help with the pressurization because it's it will slow down the higher the pressure gets. So I'm just doubling up the pumps so that it will go a little faster. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Glad you like it. Yeah, I was thinking of seat. I don't like it though. It's kind of ugh. I do have a notion that I was thinking. Let me try this one out, see if I like this. So I have to ask Big Man if you can have XML. I'm pretty sure you can, but I'm not 100%. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Try something simple really quick. Now I'm kind of fixated on this. So we can go full window length. So we can go 3. Let's put it that way. Go 3. We need 2 for my character to stand in place. So... that's where we can go to. Let's hook this system up here and see what's up. So this is going to be So let's try to check on this. All right, so here we go. We go in. Okay, oh no, we can't get out. All right. That goes to 1. I don't want it at 1. I want it at, let's see. Try 0.25. There we go. Yep, we're almost there. There we go. Okay, that will work. Let's try a friction block on there. Need a little bit of grip. Friction blocks can be scary. Sometimes they just grab shit and then they essentially act like an immovable object and they do not want to move. So a little bit of friction block there. Let's see. This friction block's worse. Alright, let's get that out of there. So I should be able to put a hidden pivot so that it's in this room. So I don't see it as much, but don't know if I get more grab on a corner piece or not. I can't take up the 2 space here because my character literally has to stand there to get this door open. So it's, I don't want this space to feel claustrophobic. You're supposed to be in a submarine. It's not supposed to be, you know, in your living room. So probably a little bit more angle will make it a little bit more regular. Yeah, so probably a little angle maybe. So let's try up to, let's go 0.5 on there. And then what will happen is when you hit that button, it will lock this door so that you can't, you know, you can't swing the door open while that's out, but. So a little J hook to keep you, so make so you can jump in and out. Currently it's not. Fuck off. Let me climb. Stop. Like he wants to crouch the whole time. It's being obnoxious. All right, so you can stand on the J hook and then get out. So. And then I can make that so you can't even see it. Like can't see the pivot. So that's not bad. I kind of dig on that idea. That's not bad. So I kind of, you know, got an idea of something that it could work. You know, something to help you kind of climb out. The other thought I had was if I could put something here, but we're having real estate problems to put something here. I was gonna put like a raising handle because I don't want it like, I like the profile of the top like that. I don't want to add railings or a bunch of nonsense. Because if I added railings, I could just put the, just turn the door around and you can get out this way. But I'm not a huge fan of that. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of that. But something like this is more interesting to me than something a little bit more complicated. Or something, something else. Figure something out here. Probably take a break here in a minute. Let's kind of see some more stuff. So I'll do a quick walkthrough of this of thems who may have joined late-ish. Let's read some chat first. Yeah, I'll see you later there, Daniel. Alright, let's see where we're at here. So, we'll do a quick little tour-roni here. So, I didn't step in the right section. Right here. So here's a bridge. A lot of work and nothing's really done in here. Ballast system's in there. So this is working well. You do need that purge valve to get them equalized out. So that was good. Something good to learn. I'll do a tutorial once I, you know, can make a good tutorial of that. In here it came up pretty well, I think. We have kitchen. Have the living quarters here. It's going to be storage, a little desk, be more cabinetry around a bed so we can go do that. We have a place to sit and hang out. We have a lav or a head, shower, and toilet. Currently wash your hands on the toilet. We'll put a sink in there. You have your ladder going up top, so, you know, pretty good little midget sub, designed to be tiny. Should be able to do some rescues in there. Yeah, so I think that'll be cool when that gets kind of done-ish. So yeah, I've enjoyed building this. Big Man's Challenge is, let me get the info for Big Man's Challenge. I recommend people participate. Seems like it's going to be a fun challenge, so. Trying to find the announcement here. I'll just bring up the sheet here. So he's got the date on here. It's 22 days, 4 hours, 18 minutes, and 48 seconds. So it's December 17th, 2023 at 10 p.m. The clock is on there. So if you're interested in Big Man's Challenge, you can go ahead and check that out. Yeah, it should be a fun challenge with the midget submarine. I also have a challenge going on now. It's the container truck. That is due December 2nd, so that's coming right up now. So let's go ahead and thank the members. So Side Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Repairs All, FS Gamer, and we'll throw Citrus in there. His expired today, so he still gets credit for having Summit today in there. So thank you guys for being members. Thank you to Chicken Sword for being a patron. If you guys are interested in any of that, that is down in the description below. I always appreciate that. If you guys would like the video for me, I appreciate that. It lets other people find it. New Steam tutorial came out. If you guys would watch that, you might learn something, and I'd appreciate it if you watch it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.